today's episode, we are very far into one of the branches on A route. Thursday's stream was a lot. It was a lot. We discovered the identity of S. Sungyun. We interrogated Seil about the coincidental pictures that make him look like he was a stalker. And then he ends up hanging himself in this route. So he also all but confirmed that he killed Hyesung. Like, he pretty much said, Inha, you owe me because I took out Hyesung for you.
I've been waiting for this.
Hey, Spectro. We thought Inha was dead. Was it Seil running the account? No, it was the young employee who got fired for the profile mishap. He was the S. Sungyun, but it seems that Seil was probably working with him because inside Seil's bag he had documents about each member, like each finalist, and a tablet. So to avoid being interrogated further, he locked himself in the dressing room, and we bust our way into the dressing room and found that he is dead inside. So, yeah, we're about to investigate Seil's body. We also didn't see everything that was in his bag. Hopefully, he didn't destroy evidence while he was alone, because I gave him time before we went in. We didn't chase after him right away. I decided to have a communication first, and I wonder if that affected our events here. Here we go. Okay. Seil's body. We also found out that Seil was, in a previous season, he auditioned for a previous season of Beastars and got rejected. You have your suspect locked in. I mean, is it too obvious just to think that Seil killed Hyesung and then just killed himself? Or is there something else going on? I'm not really sure. He moved closer to the body, but nothing changed. It was Hyesung's ghost. You stop that right now. Adept hero. Seil was no longer alive. Other than the neck wound, no other wounds were visible at first glance. There are wounds on his fingertips. His nails were broken and his fingertips bloody. The fingernails on both of Seil's hands are damaged and bloody. Doyoon barely managed to look towards Seil's neck. Here's the thing, though. When we came back from investigating Sungyun's body with Juyoung, Gyu-hyuk was by himself in front of the door, which was still locked, and Seil spoke to us after we got back there. Inha was Inha in the corridor when the tremor happened? Or was she with us? Yeah, what's your theory, Lucas? She ran back as the tremor happened. But wasn't there initially. Okay, so she could have gotten in from behind. Either that or there is somebody else in the building and we were wrong about that. So let's suss Inha again a little bit. Do-yoon saw a strap under Se-il's chin. A leather belt was hanging on a metal hook by a high shelf. Where did he get this strap? That jacket over there. It's a belt of some sort. I'm sure it was removed from a piece of clothing. Ju-young took a deep breath, barely managing to speak. The bruise was visible round his neck like a thin string. I need to see what happened. There were little wounds around the bruise. It was clear that the cause of death was hanging. There was a notebook near his feet. I love this song, by the way. Ugh, all the music in this game fits the mood so perfectly. So this is the notebook. Do-yoon slowly picked up the notebook.
This.
I'm glad she did it. As he opened it, the last wrinkled page caught his eye.
새로운 재밌거리를 찾아봤지만 생각한 만큼 자극적이지.
I was expecting something exciting, but it just wasn't as fun as I thought it'd be. I've hit rock bottom. Also, nothing's ever going to change, I'm sure of it. For sure, what am I supposed to do? I'm an incompetent fool controlled by others chasing some vain dream. Can't escape this endless cycle of sin. You could sense the feeling of shame and despair from his writing. So I noticed two things. The light was off as they entered, and Se-il hung way above his height. And there was nothing near him to get up that height, so I think the only person to do that is Kyu-hyuk. That's why he needed to send In-ha away. I also believe Kyu has a master key he took after killing the producer, and my guess is why Se-il needed to die has to do with research on contestants. Kyu was always calm and collected when he found out about him spying on. Yeah, I could agree with that theory. The only thing, though, is that Se-il called out to us after we met up with Gyu, so that he couldn't have killed him. We were all outside the door together. I feel like the only one, if this wasn't suicide, the only one who possibly could have killed him is In-ha. Unless if, like, he slipped In-ha the key or something. Is there anything that can record voices? Yes. The watches can record voices. But how would they set it to play back? Also, he directly replied to Ju-young. Ju-young said, can you let us in? And he said, like, I can't do that. So it was very... It wasn't like a generic statement. Do-yoon let out a groan. What does it say? It must be his diary. Do-yoon flipped through the pages. When did he start writing it? According to the diary, the beginning of this year. The page was densely filled with letters. Feeling dizzy, Do-yoon closed the notebook. With that, some photos fell out of the notebook. He picked it up without a second thought. Okay, so Sungyeon and Hyesung. He couldn't read the entire diary on the spot. Hey, Quinn. We are investigating a murder. Happy Eurovision Day. Yes! I'm not paying attention, but I hope that y'all that are watching it are having fun. Oh, it's over? Nice. What happened? My man was caught red-handed? No, he was caught red-haired, Tom. Thank you. Do-yoon took a step back from the body. table and surrounding area caught his eye. Oh, is this a table? That could be how he got up on the right height. UK got second? What? Who got first? Things around him looked a little messier than before. Sign of a struggle. Ukraine. Oh. Yoon slowly looked around. Check the messenger bag. Small pen, coins, receipts, and the tablet were there. Yoon took the tablet out to examine it. This is broken. There was a large crack on the side of the screen and the battery had swelled. Is it on? Oh, that's funny. Yoon tried to turn it on, but it didn't work. I don't think it's working. Taeyoon checked everything his eyes could see. Taeyoon moved back from the site, staggering. Everyone was shocked by Seil's death. Ju-young seemed particularly affected.
신랑이 하면서 방법을 찾는 게 아니었어.
We shouldn't have been looking for solutions.
한시라도 더 빨리.
We should have forced in earlier.
그 짧은 틈에
I never imagined he would do this during that short period of time.
혹시 억울했던 건 아닐까?
Do you think he felt falsely accused?
그치만
But think about this. Inha stepped forward with the notebook in her hand.
뒷조사 자료에다
Think about his secret background checks on us.
유서나 마찬가지야.
And this wrinkled page is like a suicide note.
도 결국 잘못 본
We
게
weren't
아니었어.
mistaken about the tablet either.
다 탄로나기
He
전에
ran away before we found him out, right?
억울하다면
If he felt
제대로 해명을
frustrated,
했어야지.
he should have explained
왜
himself.
이런 선택을 해?
Why kill himself? I wanted his explanation, not his suicide. Inha handed the notebook to Do-yoon and covered her face. Maybe Inha was right. Suspicious clues, the diary with depressive contents, and the decision to leave everything unexplained. How did it go? All fine? All settled? The end. Do-yoon looked towards the watch. Is this the end? Do-yoon wanted to ask himself. Background checks, a suicide note, a diary, and then actual suicide? Seil did all that? Thought he would explain himself. Calm down. Did you process everything and accept them? Maybe. I see. I guess it is better to resolve the rest after getting rescued. You ask a pharmacist for prescriptions, a doctor for treatments, rescue team for help, and the police for investigations. What do you think? Seil was probably the culprit and committed suicide after being cornered. Is it all over then? Is that what you wanted? Bit his lips after reading the last message. I want. Came this far while turning a blind eye to it. Closed his eyes, shut his mouth, and put that aside. I want the truth. Not yet. This doesn't mean it's over. What a surprise. You're different from what I thought you'd be like. This is what I think. If you want to know the truth, then don't turn your face away from the problem. Hope the typo didn't ruin my cool advice. There must be clues and facts. But you already have casualties. Seil either took his own life or was murdered. Considering your mental health inside there, you don't have to dig into it. You have an option of sticking together with one another until you safely get out of there. Your goal is survival. That's all you need to focus on. Let's say you really found out the truth. Can you really deal with it? Yeah, I think we can. We have a lot of sanity. Can I face reality?
감당할 수 있겠어?
Face reality. I've come this far. After all, this is as far as I could come. And I'm going all the way. Time to slow down a little bit. You could get into an accident if you keep accelerating. Sorry for saying this, but you should carefully check through his diary, including that suicide note. That kind of writing often contains a hidden clue. Although the writing might express a wish for death, ironically, it might show a strong will to live. So Yoon recollected the distressing feeling he felt when he read the wrinkled page. What was it? A feeling of resignation or rage? So Yoon opened Seol's notebook again. He could still sense the complexity of emotion from the last wrinkled page. He flipped the page. October 1st. There was a live show that day. 2 contestants were eliminated, leaving only the top 5.
실체를 알면
You too will crumble if you face reality.
너도
I guess you wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
어디서 온
Read the letter from an unknown someone and slowly retrace what you've done.
자기가 해온 일들을 되짚.
Interesting. So you can flip through more pages. August 30th. The Beastars preliminaries were nearing their end.
서혜성은
Yesung's still the
아직도
favorite due to
심기기 때문에
Sunyeon's backing.
말과 행동 어떤 것도
His manner and remarks, he was just unqualified to be the winner of the audition.
언제 무슨 소리를
He's like a ticking bomb. Nobody ever knows what will come out of his mouth. If Sunyeon continues to ignore my advice, I'll deal with him myself. I will expose his past. He will fall. That will be most appropriate for him. No matter what, he'll never make it to the finals. I'll make sure of it. I have that power too. Ina will have to trust me. I'll help her in my own way and see how far she can go. She doesn't have to know what I'm doing. I just want to prove that I have an eye for talent and power to change the game. Sorry, Sunyeon, but you are not who you used to be. I don't have to follow your every order from now on. Okay. Doyoon gulped and read earlier entries. August 13th, the preliminaries were ongoing. Did I join her to do this crap? Sunyeon, you're inhumane. You treat me like a slave. July 27th, the beginning of the Beastars preliminaries.
베스타 예선을
Beastars preliminaries have begun. Watching the contestants' performances reminds me of the old days. It seems I've still got it though. Most of the contestants that I had my eye on got great scores during the preliminaries. Not all of them actually. There were a few imbeciles.
어쨌든
But I guess they got through because they had something to show. I was eliminated because I didn't even have that much. I have no intention of getting back on the show. That dream disappeared long ago. Still, watching the contestants blabber on about their dreams in front of the camera is fun. I hope they get to show off their skills to the fullest, unlike me. Except a couple of incompetent ones.
걔들은 자격이
They don't deserve it. They should just pack up and go home. June 18th, just before Beastars preliminaries.
자신감이
I totally lost my confidence. I've been thinking a lot after hitting the bottom.
베스타 예선이 시작.
It might get better once Beastars preliminaries starts since everything will be so hectic. Although that'll be only a temporary solution to my problem.
문제는 나한테
I'm the problem. I guess Sunyeon shows no respect to me because my work is always incomplete. I have a feeling that this will never end. It's horrible. I always imagine that, oh, what would happen if I just jump out the window? But as always, I don't have the guts to do that, even if I do get the chance.
늘 그랬던 것처럼.
Okay, so that's a good entry, right? Because that shows he doesn't have the courage to actually commit suicide. So he has to have been killed, right? The oldest one was from May 22nd of this year. It was a crappy day as usual. My subordinates don't listen to me, and my boss is nagging at me like hell. What the heck do they want from me? Sungyun is the biggest problem of all. I'm getting sick of her treating me like a loser. I've worked for her for over 4 years. How many more freaking years do I have to spend to earn the tiniest bit of respect from her? Looks like she's forgotten what happened 3 years ago. She knows she'll be in big trouble if I open my mouth. She really needs to treat me with much respect. When she tried to hire me, she said I reminded her of herself, and now thanks to her change in attitude, all the other staff members are treating me like a loser too. Easier? And now thanks to her change in attitude, all the other staff members are treating me like a loser too. If she keeps this up, I'm not going to just sit quietly. I'm writing this so as not to forget how I feel right now. There was a business card in the front page. One was an old business card with Seiyu's name on it. Scoop?
Get this feeling.
When he took a look again, he found that its name and logo belonged to WBSN. I think that's the broadcasting network, right? It was the former name of the current WBS responsible for producing and broadcasting B-Stars. The business card was old and worn out. On the page before that, there was another card from the same program. This is Sungyun's. Program name, department, and logo were identical to Seiyu's. Oh, did they say the date on Fader? There were also background check documents. It wasn't as bad as what we saw earlier, but still went far beyond the scope of their initial agreement. Do-yoon, your hands are trembling. I'm okay. Stop lying! Look at this mess!
아까 자료들
Do you think he really gathered all the information on his own? I guess so. We're seeing the evidence right now.
이거 보여주는 게
So he'd rather kill himself than get caught with it? The only secret more serious than this has to be something with his son. Do-yoon thought again about what was written in the notebook. The letters and images danced around in his head. Did Seiyo really commit suicide? Could the last diary entry be the suicide note? Was Seiyo trying to hide the fact that he murdered his son? To find answers, Do-yoon began to retract the clues again. It's going great, E-tier. I think we're gonna beat this route today, and I'm really stoked to see where this is headed. Let me go back to what happened before B-Stars. So it has to be May, right? Before the preliminaries began, it was June. Seiyo completely lost his confidence. He blamed his incompetence for failing to earn Sungyun's respect. He was so depressed that he even thought about killing himself. But he said that he didn't have the courage to do that, as usual. That's what sticks out to me about that as well. May, before B-Stars even began, Seiyo wrote that he had worked with Sungyun for over 4 years. It seemed that he joined the staff right after getting eliminated in Season 2. He always felt that he wasn't getting the attention and respect he deserved. And he mentioned he was willing to expose what happened 3 years ago if things went on like that. It seemed that Sungyun had treated him pretty nicely in the beginning, but then belittled him from then on. What in the world happened 3 years ago? Seiyo was chosen by Sungyun 4 years ago after he got eliminated from the preliminaries of B-Stars Season 2. It was after the video of his miserable failure at the audition went viral. Sungyun seemed to have coaxed Seiyo by praising how special he was, so he joined the staff. but her attitude seemed to have changed after he joined the crew. Quit, he'd be no one special. If he continued, his self-confidence would crumble. Within that month, Do-yoon could sense Se-il's anger at Sung-yeon's disrespect and the shameful feeling for his incompetence. As he didn't even have time to think. Do-yoon thought about himself. Training for the finals was much harsher than that for the preliminaries. Then, nobody had the peace of mind to care about others or what had happened during the finals. The contestants didn't trust Do-yoon nor care about what had happened in the past. The invisible wall set up by Sung-yeon. Inside the wall, Do-yoon overcame his confusion and regained stability. Was it really stability? Just stopped thinking for myself and ran away. Do-yoon paused for a moment and slowly shook his head. Should focus. Okay. Commonality in the two diary entries. Sense of inferiority. A very self-destructive inferiority complex. Another passage grabbed his attention. The part where it said she would be in big trouble if he opened his mouth about what happened 3 years ago. The part where Se-il said he might not keep his mouth shut forever gave a clue of something fishy had happened. The clues from the notebook which occurred around that time were... What is the clue that shows the long history between Se-il and Sung-yeon? Probably the business card, right? Sung-yeon's business card from the previous job. Sung-yeon and Se-il worked together for over 4 years. The WBSN logo indicated that the business card was issued more than 2 years ago. He recalled the name of the program on the business card, Scoop. Do-yoon had seen the name of the program in an article about the new season of Beastars. Heard it was the program that helped Sung-yeon to achieve her sensational career. He had never actually watched the program because that's when he was concentrating on the band. He was not even sure if the secret mentioned by Se-il was really related to this program. Maybe I should ask the others what kind of program it was and when it was broadcast. Do-yoon made a mental note of the name Scoop. He moved on to the entry written before the preliminaries. Around June, Se-il wrote about having suicidal thoughts. It was written a few months earlier. How was it during the Beastars preliminaries? Okay, sort out the notes that were written during the End of August, near the end of the preliminaries. There was a line about how Sung-yeon had saved Hye-sung from elimination, and Se-il wrote that he would eliminate Hye-sung, who he felt was unqualified from the audition. Se-il also said he would show what he's got by backing up In-ha behind the curtain. It must have been written when Hye-sung and In-ha went off at each other during the team mission. Middle of August, that was during the preliminaries for sure. Do-yoon could sense the feeling of betrayal and rage from the short passages. This crap, inhumane, broken promise, and so on. He was forced to do something unreasonable? End of July. That was when the preliminaries had just begun. Se-il recollected his memory as a competitor as he watched other contestants' performance in the preliminaries. He complimented his discerning eye while criticizing some contestants. He wrote that he had no intention of getting back on the stage. However, what I sense from his writing is not the feeling of resignation, but of regret. I don't think he had fallen into despair during the preliminaries. He felt contempt towards Hye-sung for advancing to the finals by pulling strings. He felt betrayed by Sung-yeon for her complete change in attitude. He was determined to prove his own power to her by influencing the auditions. What made him so angry in August? Se-il was infuriated with Sung-yeon and expressed his feelings of betrayal. He used the words "this crap" and said that Sungyun had treated him like a slave. It seemed like this was the time when he began to take his own course. What did he mean by this crap? Probably the info on the contestants. The contestants' personal information. Seil said the contract with the background checking agency was unfairly terminated. Various materials, records, and photos of the top 5. Could Sungyun have forced Seil to check the contestants' backgrounds in mid-August? Seil tried to keep his self-esteem amidst the extreme sense of inferiority. However, he was forced to carry out background checks on the contestants. Sungyun constantly bugged and controlled Seil. Maybe she had been trying to do the same thing to Do-yoon. She had comforted him by saying that it was all a part of the show and that his reputation as a betrayer would disappear by the end. She never hesitated in making promises. And how did he respond to her? What was his mindset like? What did he feel when he saw her body at the collapse stage? It was clearly the feeling of ambivalence. Shock, fear, anxiety, and... Yoon shook the distracting thoughts out of his head. He decided to focus on Seil's diary again. Sungyun ordered Seil to do a background check on the contestants. This was something annoying enough to explode Seil's long-suppressed anger. It was... In the previous entries, Seil was showing a lack of confidence and disappointment at Sungyun's mistreatment. But as of this entry, there were no more signs of such disappointment. Of course, that was just Do-yoon's assumption. Sungyun's the real monster? Well, I mean, for sure. We kind of been new, right? But Seil also probably bad guy. The anger led Seil's to support Inha from behind the scenes on his own, and to blackmail... And the blackmail that had been sent to Sungyun in earlier October. So he's the one that did it? He was planning something on his own. Sadly, there is no way of hearing about it from him anymore. The last page indicated that nothing could comfort him anymore. It implied that nothing would change and that he would give up and continue with his wrongdoings. Seil attempted something on his own to change his situation, but to no avail. It was obvious that he felt underestimated. His self-esteem was constantly going up and down. Then he really killed himself. Question brought him back to square one. He's bad enough to induce Seil's suicide. What if it wasn't a suicide? This question kept ringing inside his head. Something that troubles my mind. It's... Signs left on the corpse. Okay, it's gotta be the neck. Oh boy. Hey, Kek. How's it going? The wound on his neck. His chin was barely hanging on the belt, but the wound was circling around his entire neck. How's it going? Not so good, I guess. Took a look. Yeah, it's hot here too. I'm actually running the AC today, which is very not normal me behavior. It was plug hole. You need to help me. It's hard to make a guess from my side, but there must be ligature marks on the front side of his neck if his full weight was applied. I'm not 100% certain about that. Plughole agreed with Do-yoon's idea, but sounded doubtful. It won't hurt to consider it. Oh no, back on E7. You okay? Yeah, it is 88 where I am right now, so I'm comfortably in my apartment. I set the thing to 73. Anyway, your survival is my top priority. Why? Why not? You don't want to survive? Knowing the truth is important. But safety comes first. Safety. Is it dangerous to know the truth? Suicide or not, if it is, the reason he killed himself. There is no decisive evidence to any of those. What if he didn't take his own life? Then what? What happened twice already can happen once more. Is he worried about me? Let's see. Thank you. Taeyun dropped his hand and turned around to face the rest of the group.
소리 들려?
Can you hear that? It's getting louder.
여긴 위험해.
It's dangerous in here.
그래.
Yes.
일단
Let's move to the corridor for now. The others pulled Do-yoon out of the dressing room. Inha patted him on the back after arriving at the corridor.
이 판국에 워치 보고 있어?
Did they change the drop rates? For what? How can you be looking at a watch at a time like this?
좀 확인해 볼 게 있었어.
I had to check something.
안팎으로 좋은 소식이
Neither here
나오는데.
nor out there. No good news. Oh, like polling rates? No.
범인
The rates are the same.
찾았잖아.
They just added more ways to get more ML summons. We found the attacker, right?
모르겠어.
I'm not really sure.
이걸 아닌데 저래버렸다.
Why would he do that if he wasn't the attacker?
그건
That's true, but
지은 죄가 있으니
he
저런
chose to
짓을
end
한
it
거야.
that way because he was guilty. I think that's what somebody wants us to believe. Nice, Kak.
그렇게밖에는 생각할 수가 없잖아.
What else is there to think? Ji-young's eyes dropped to the floor. Yu-hyuk stepped forward, trying to calm people down.
조금 있으면 구조대가
The rescue team will arrive soon.
일단 그것만 생각하자.
Let's just think about that for now.
죄 짓고 죄값 치르는 건
It's natural for a sinner to pay for his sin. Ina was firm, but her face was somber.
저기
Look. Wow! Why is that even an option?
더 이야기해 보고
To
싶어.
say I'm the attacker? Want to talk about it a little more.
어떤 거에 대해서?
About what?
분장실에서 본 상황.
About what we saw in the dressing room.
걸리는 게 있었어?
Something bothering you?
이거다고 짚을 만한 건
Well, nothing in particular. Did you click it, Tom? You did. Taeyun saved his words. Although it's unlikely, it was still a possibility. Seel could have been murdered, and the real murderer could be one of us. He really didn't want to think that way, but the more he thought about it, the stronger his doubts grew. That's why he saved his words. He had to talk to them at least. That's all he could think about. If nothing came to mind after talking to them, if everything that had happened was simply as it appeared, it wouldn't be too late to get rid of his concerns.
알겠어.
Fine. What about the other two?
나도
No idea either. I'm
지금
almost
어지러울
dizzy.
정도야. 머릿수에서 졌네.
Well then, we'll go with the majority rule.
길게 얘기할 상황은 아니야.
We can't be talking about this for too long.
알고 있어.
I know. E-tier did? Oh my god. Jim? It is indeed a shirt. Thank you for checking. It is getting a little dark in here. Hold on. Debatable. Yeah, sure. Wow, E-tier. Okay, so we have 12 keywords to look at this time. Holy balls. Okay. There were wounds on his hands.
그거는
The kind of wounds that are made unconsciously. Inha massaged her eyes with both hands. There was a brief silence between the two. When a person hangs themselves, their body still feels pain,
말하자면
and they will instinctively struggle to cut or tear the rope in order to survive. although they wanted to kill themselves, their body, although they wanted to kill themselves, their body would still resist.
혹시
There are no other signs? Tell me if you have more information.
아니야.
That's all I know, and I can tell you two things. Ina raised her head and stared at Doyoon. If you think it might not be suicide because of the wounds on his hand, you're probably wrong. No matter how closely you look, it's obviously he took his own life. Ina, I think you just want to believe, to be honest. He said something about me too. Did you see it? He said I just needed to do as he said. I've never asked him to make me popular. Ina sagged her shoulders. To be honest, I don't know what to say. I wonder if she knew Seiyo was supporting her. He just wanted to satisfy himself. Are we gonna convict Ina? I don't think so. I kind of trust her after the last episode, to be honest.
혹시
You know Seiyo had been supporting you?
아니, 잠깐.
Supporting me? Are you kidding?
아니었어.
He tried to control all my actions and followed me around without a word. Ina's eyes slightly trembled. It all boils down to his defiance towards Sungyun. He tried to use me as his pawn. Well, Kiso-on, Seil's actually dead. We found him hung in the dressing room. And we're trying to determine if it was suicide or murder. Was he going to claim that he attacked Hyesung for me?
아니야.
But I never asked him to invite me into his little power game. The truth? It's just his self-satisfaction.
그게
I called out to him when the tremor died out and there was no answer. When we forced ourselves in, it was already over. There wasn't much time. Ina nodded weakly and continued.
그래.
That's why I feel like my head is about to burst. I was one step behind. I feel responsible, yeah, because I stopped everyone. It's my fault. I stopped the others instead of chasing him.
잠깐.
I don't need to hear that, you fool! If we all went and banged on the door, it would have happened sooner. That's how I see it. Ina closed her mouth and sank her head. We didn't have enough time.
그러면
You and Ju-young came back to the corridor and talked to Seiyo, right?
맞아.
Yes, he wouldn't budge. That's when the tremor came and you came out of the corridor. When we called him again, there was no answer, and we forced ourselves in. The wall of the dark dressing room. That's where we found him. It happened only minutes before.
그래.
Just a few minutes. That's when it happened.
말하자면
The tablet was completely broken.
그랬었지.
The screen had cracks, the battery was swollen, and it wouldn't even turn on.
어쨌든
He broke it after he ran into the dressing room.
아니면
If not, there's no other reason. There was no reason for him to hide his things, and there was no reason for him to run away after spilling his bag.
그렇다면
So the only conclusion we can reach is that he broke it on purpose. What does it look like we're doing? I mean, it's possible that Seiyul broke it himself, or maybe whoever the attacker was.
Meow.
Yeah, she ran up to Kevin. Now she's getting pets. Chocolate. Jeez. Okay. At the remark that Seiyul should have tried to destroy the tablet in the dressing room. I mean, I kind of think both of these are logical responses. I guess so.
아무래도
Guess he wanted to hide something.
그러니까.
Even if we couldn't see it, we would have had to reveal it after we got out of here. And he would have had to submit it to the police. He was just trying to avoid the situation at hand. Ina's blue eyes turned dark. It's almost sad. He could have just shown it to us after deleting what he wanted to hide. What he did was pointless. Another rapport event?
한도윤.
Do-yoon, did I do anything wrong?
난 그런 걸 판단할
I'm not qualified to make any judgment.
적어도
I wanted some kind of explanation at least.
영원히 달아.
Rather than silence for good like this.
이런 선택은
I wasn't expecting this. Ina lowered her head.
나
Haven't I changed after all?
바꿨잖아.
You've changed a lot.
거치야 바꿨지.
I did change my facade and showed myself in public.
학교에서 제안하는 모습을
I accepted the
다 받아들이고
character they proposed for the show.
다른 옷 입고
I dressed differently, talked differently, and acted differently.
다른 행동을 했는데 말뚝의
Did you, Tom?
매일체로
But now I'm back to square one, I guess.
뭔가 바뀐
It
것처럼
was just I was just brainwashing myself as if something had changed.
결국 유피로
I'm still Pilwon Yu inside.
그 오랜
After all these years.
난 피룽이라는
I don't know that girl.
오이나밖에
I only
몰라.
know Inha-oh. Pilwon Yu, forget her.
바뀌길 바라면서도
I want real change, but this is not the real me either. What was I wanting for?
한 번에 알 수는 없는 거지.
Fail? No. Although, I'm not a fan of this character, but, you know. Welcome, Fail. Did you start, this game already?
자기 발로 계속 찾아갈 수밖에.
You just have to keep looking for it.
이러는 나도
No different than you. Inha let out a deep sigh.
남이 바꿔줄 수는 없었어.
Others cannot change me.
누가 날 바꿔주고
It
말고
was
하는
not
게
about
아니었는데.
others in the first place.
대신 살아주는
Nobody
것도
will live for
아니었고,
me.
대신 책임져주는
Nobody will take
것도
responsibility for
아니었고,
me.
그냥
I was just running away, feeling okay as long as I was away from where I was.
이제 와서
How come I never knew what I was doing before?
곧 나갈 거야.
We will get out of here
찾을 수
soon.
있겠지.
We'll find the truth as well as your future.
알 수 있는 게
So what I found in the end is that I still don't know anything.
이렇게나
It
오래
took me quite
힘들게
it took me quite long to find that out. Oh yeah, we are at kind of a big spoilers part, I do feel. Not that I want to scare you away, Fail, but I also want to preserve the shock value of the visual novel. That is an amazing emote. What the heck? After experiencing so much... Inha shook her head and whispered to herself. That's her last rapport conversation, right? I hope. Thank goodness is right.
그러니까
WBSN was the name of the broadcasting company. It's WBS now. So, it's been a few years. Okay, cool. Oh, we got the achievement? Alright, nice. Inha suddenly stared at Do-yoon while mumbling to herself.
Oh?
According to Seiyu's diary, how long has he been working with Sungyeon? About 4 years. I think it was about 4 years. Yes, 4 years. WBSN changed its name to WBS about 3 years ago. Inha tilted her head.
정리하면
B-Star Season 2, where he was eliminated in the preliminaries, was held 4 years ago. So he joined the staff immediately after getting eliminated. I guess that's how he got this business card. He's been in the show business for some time now. Can't believe he's still doing background checks. That's probably gonna end up being a pretty important detail if I had to guess. That the network name changed at the same time as when they started working together. Something about the dirt on Sungyeon.
아무래도
We couldn't check his tablet.
그래요.
I didn't even turn it on.
분명히
I saw the swollen battery.
어?
Swollen?
생각해봐.
Yes, the device was swollen and the screen was broken. If the device is swollen, you can consider it totally broken. I know, it's kind of random that she's the tech girl. But apparently she likes electronic gadgets. When do you think the tablet was broken?
그게
Devices don't swell up like that all at once. It must have been a while ago.
아마
At least a few days. Yeah, because she brought up the thing about the metadata too, didn't she, Tom?
그러면
Utility Queen. So it's very likely that he never used a device while in here. You're right, unless an expert repairs it. Ju-young put her hand on her sweaty forehead.
그러면
So why was he carrying it? So I'm thinking back about something. Remember when Seil said, everything I did to protect you, Inha, and he was talking about what he did to Hyesung, and I was like, oh my god, he just admitted to killing him. But actually, I think he was talking about releasing the dirt on Hyesung to lower him in the ratings? It's possible that that's what he was talking about and not admitting that he killed him. In which case, this is gonna get a lot more complicated.
이거면
Why did he try to hide it, and why did he run away after some things were revealed?
모르겠어.
We'll never know why. What I know is that the device was broken a long time ago.
그러고 보니
He also had Sungyeon's old business card.
그런가요?
The same TV program which Seil had worked on. She was a producer even back then. Also, I wonder if he was carrying a master key. And when stuff fell out of the bag and everybody picked things up, maybe somebody got their hands on the master key and used it. Inha or Gyuhyuk. Just another thing that could be happening. Add it to the list, Tom.
누나
Does the name of the TV program ring a bell?
글쎄요.
Scoop enter behind? I think I saw a news article about it, but I don't know much about it. Ju-young briefly stared at the logo on the business card.
그건
Thank you, Tom. That's the TV program that made Sungyeon famous. It was a celebrity gossip show.
어?
A gossip show?
그렇지.
She was notorious for her persistent and aggressive coverage. They chose provocative items and achieved great success. sorry, Tom, but you seem to have made an error.
그렇다는
Did
건
Beloved also? Oh,
아니야.
I was with the group at the time, but no. They were either focused on other targets or thought we were a minor group that wouldn't sell. The young shook her head bitterly. Oof.
일단은
Another producer is still running the program. Even after joining Beastars, she maintained her style. But it's not as popular as when Sungyeon used to be the producer, though.
내 생각엔
If you think about it, the tradition of background checking started back then.
그럴지도.
Maybe she thought it was part of the formula for guaranteed success. And we were the variables in the formula. I wonder what Seil's role was.
모르겠어.
Why even bother to obtain our consent? If they were just going to keep digging.
그래요.
Actually, their privacy policy didn't mean anything. The contract only contained a clause to obtain our consent.
분명해.
It's literally unfair. Ju Young stared at the far corner of the corridor with a bitter look on her face. Do you think it was the same for the staff who did the background checks?
아무래도
Maybe he was forced to conduct background checks. Seal's diary proves it.
맞아.
Yeah, I think so too, Lucas. Oh god, this really is just Danganronpa TMS? It is. A bunch of finalist contestants, Korean idols in a Korean idol show, underneath a collapsed building. It's so good, though. You're right. You saw how scared and desperate he was. Beastars terminated its contracts with the background check agencies. It's clear they continued the background checks internally. Would you like some? Perhaps. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
Yes?
Okie dokie, guys. Sorry about that. I was talking to Kev and I poured a little glass of wine. Alright. Onward to getting more keywords. The feelings of embarrassment and anger from Seal's diary. He didn't conduct the background checks voluntarily.
그래.
He felt a sense of shame while trying to justify his actions by saying that he was only following orders. His depression continued. Then, triggered by the collapse here, he ended his own life. Alright, let's talk to Gyu-hyuk, who's looking pretty sus.
그건
The jacket from that belt was pulled out from... It was mine. He used that to... Gyu-hyuk quietly sank his head.
솔직히
You look around, it sticks out immediately. The jacket was always hanging over there. Peter says, hey, Kevin.
그런가?
Did he really do that to himself? Didn't he run away to survive? Why? Hyuk quietly bit his lip.
아무래도
I think he acted on impulse. The door was about to burst open.
그럴 거야.
He looked around and found the belt from the jacket that was always hanging by the wall. The other end was attached to the metal hook on the shelf. Hyuk,
혹시
Stop it if you're going to blame yourself. Your clothing was always hanging there. It wasn't meant for him to use. Right now, you need to focus on the remaining people. Oh, Yu-hyuk, rapport event. Oh, this is his third one. Look at his face. Poor guy. By the way, Fail, this is the character that I said that you would like. Out of the group. He's a very good choice.
I suppose I should thank you. 형,
Are you alright, Yu-hyuk?
괜찮아? 넌 어때?
What about you? You
많이
must be
놀랐을
shaken. I was gonna say, usually when you say I called you out, it's because I was right about something. You did poorly. Aw, Tom. If it's anything, I've been messing up with Ju-young often. That girl is sharp, and she's hard to... It's hard to tell what she wants you to say sometimes.
사실
I'm
혼란스러워.
confused, to be honest.
조금만 참아.
Just hang in there,
마음을
relax.
알겠어.
Okay, you too.
형도 네가 괜찮아야 나도 괜찮아.
This is just like when we chose opposite decisions in Triangle Strategy, Tom. God damn it. I'll be okay when you are. Oh. Yu-hyuk moved closer and patted Do-yoon on his shoulder.
이만큼 한
Hey,
사람
Chibi, how you doing?
너뿐이야.
You're the only one who knows about this. Our gayness.
Moms are tough.
Yu-hyuk raised his tilted head.
참 이상하지?
It's weird. I've never told anyone about this.
이런 때라 할 수
Maybe I
있는
was able to tell you that because we are in an unusual circumstance. Yu-hyuk
His
shook his head and then
pants.
looked at Do-yoon again.
너여서 할 수 있었어.
I was able to open up because it was you.
무너질 때
You
구해주지
didn't save
않았다면
me when the stage collapsed.
아무 말도
I would have been gone in
아무것도
silence,
못한 채로
with
끝냈을
everything buried. Yu-hyuk paused momentarily. His wandering eyes were fixed on Do-yoon again.
혼자 남았을 때
When I was alone, a voice
목소리가
came to
막
me.
어딘가 날
It was
끌고
trying to take
들어가려는
me somewhere.
여기는 모두를
It was
불행에
saying I
몰아넣고
would bring destruction to
혼자 남을
everyone's life and survive alone.
그때
I was
가장
desperate for
간절한 건
anyone's help.
사랑 형제를 바란 건지
I might have been wanting to have a
둘이었으면
brother.
헤매는
Together with
시간이
him,
더
I
짧지
might have
않았을까?
pulled myself earlier from the abyss.
혼자 보내는 시간도
Spending some time all alone is not a waste of time,
그렇지만
but it was just too long and difficult.
난
I'm not that strong-minded.
그런 사람이 서바이벌
Weak-minded
오디션에서
couldn't
여기까지
make
와.
it to the stage.
난 그대로도
I think you are
괜찮다고
fine as you are. Yu-hyuk squinted under the blurred lights.
너도야.
Same goes for you.
주변 얘긴 신경 끄고
Don't care about what others say, just believe in yourself.
이상하네.
Weird. I've
이런
never
말.
said this kind of thing before. Yu-hyuk raised his head again.
도윤아,
Do-yoon,
무슨 일이 있어도
at any cost, I'll get you out of here safely.
남 보내고 말고
Not
할
just
때는
me.
아니지.
All of us will make it.
그래.
Yeah. He's like, except for the ones that I killed. We'll get out of here soon.
뭐랄까.
Read it, right? He was angry, disappointed, and had expectations. But in the end, he gave himself up in despair. Do-yoon thought about the page of the notebook. That he'll be swayed by empty dreams and continue to commit sins.
그래도
He should not have ran away, throwing away his own life like this.
그치만
There were several chances to turn things around. Yu-hyuk slowly nodded. And each time he failed to be honest.
그럴까?
But what Se-il wrote in his notebook probably reflects his true thoughts. Do-yoon, don't go too deep.
어쩌면
That diary entry was his suicide note. Yu-hyuk slowly opened his eyes. Don't sink into the swamp of despair before your eyes. I don't know, Yu-hyuk. I really don't know.
도윤아,
Do-yoon, you look really upset. Makes me think I should have moved quickly. Before Se-il decided to take his own life.
몰랐어.
Nobody thought this was going to happen.
어쩌면
Even Se-il probably had no idea about this outcome.
혹시
Couldn't we be more persuasive?
그러면
Then we might have been able to somehow stop him. Oh, damn.
도윤아,
Do-yoon, Se-il refused to talk until the
그래도
end.
나도
But I'm the one who was helpless while standing in front of the door. I sent you and Ju-young to the stage for the master key, and I just waited there even after Inha went to the rear door. In the end, the only thing we could do was take a risk and lunge at the door. Yu-hyuk stared at Do-yoon with a grim look on his face.
그렇다면
I'm the one who failed to persuade him.
아니었어.
Yu-hyuk, that's not what I want to hear from you. Sorry, I'll try to calm down. Take your time organizing your thoughts, but don't blame yourself. Oh yeah, are you getting a little too cold? You want me to turn it off? Alright. I think maybe once it cools down to like 80, like low 80s, I'll probably open Windows. But until then, we'll turn it on.
그게
You must have had a reason for carrying that photo. A secretly taken photo of Sung-yeon and Hye-sung. Thomas, don't turn it off! I might turn it off. It's expensive to keep on, don't you know? Yu-hyuk slowly continued while looking at Do-yoon, who remained quiet.
아무래도
I think the two of them had a relationship beyond what we know.
솔직히
I also saw them meeting each other in private. Do-yoon caught his breath. You saw them together?
Huh?
Why are you telling me this now?
그건
I only saw them together, and that was it.
그리고
And Hye-sung's behavior today, and the photo left by Se-il. I reached this conclusion based on 3 clues. You know what? There's actually one more. Yu-hyuk briefly fell silent.
나도
I received an unusual offer. She asked me out.
그랬지.
She said I would receive better treatment and more of the spotlight during the audition. Oh, this bitch! So she did it to Hye-sung too! And Hye-sung took her up on the offer, obviously.
그치만
It was around the middle of preliminaries, and of course I rejected her offer.
Oh my god!
From that moment on, she began to treat me differently.
혹시
You mean you suffered from evil edits after that talk?
그래.
Yeah, it happened sometime after that.
어쨌든
What we can guess is that a similar conversation went on between Hyesung and Sungyun. I don't think Hyesung rejected her offer. I think their relationship went on at least until his past was revealed. Very interesting. Let's talk about Sale's neck.
도윤아.
Yeah, I wonder if Sale knew. I mean, he kind of had to have known, right? Yoon, you need to pull yourself together.
괜찮아.
I'm fine. Something's just been bothering me.
그게
The wound went around his neck like a circle.
혹시
Did you look that closely?
우리야.
Don't overdo it, Do-yoon. Sale didn't die because of you. No need to punish yourself. I know, but I need to think.
도윤아.
Do-yoon, you need to focus. You need to get out of here, physically and mentally. It's a little messy, but it's not as bad as when we first came in.
결국
Does this mean, did he take his own life?
아닌 것 같아.
Can't be sure of it.
그렇다면
Does that mean someone attacked Sale too? But we were all around.
그건
It's impossible.
그랬지.
Sale made a mistake and chose to run away instead of confessing to it and taking responsibility. You might think I'm trying to match the evidence with the conclusion. This is what I believe. At least we should be able to keep everyone that remains sane. Will it let me call Ji-young?
이런 끝을 바란 게 아니었는데.
This isn't what we wanted.
계속 몰린 것 때문에.
Did we push him too much?
확실한 건 본인만 알 거야.
Only he could tell.
우리가 알 수 있는
We
건
only know what we've seen.
사이가
Sale hanging himself.
수첩이랑 가방에서
More clues from his notebook and messenger. There are more clues in his messenger bag and notebook. What should we make of these?
해석하고 추리하는.
Is it worth piecing together all the puzzle pieces? I mean, Inha could be sus. I'm just way less sus of her after last episode. Okay, let's make another save. Oh my god, it's my last slot. His head was about to burst. I'm a bit worried. Transfer keeps failing. Plug hole. A dry voice emerged from his parched lips. I don't know how far you want to dig into. To be honest, from here, I don't know what's really happening in there. Yeah. There are currently 2 dead characters in this route. It's not like Danganronpa or Zero Escape though. Well, actually Zero Escape has lots of routes, but Danganronpa, it has like the one set path, whereas this game has multiple. It was in the bathroom. Very unfortunate. Don't look only at people's reaction, but also all the clues and review the whole thing again. I'm not sure this message will reach you. Just hang in there. The clues, even the conclusion. Feeling someone's gaze, Do-yoon turned around while mumbling to himself.
이젠
It's over now, right?
세일이
Se-il is the attacker, and he killed himself when he was cornered.
달리 생각할 여지.
There's nothing else to think now. She finished, as she finished talking, she quietly bit her lip.
이젠
As opposed to noisily
어쩔
biting
수
her lip, I
없다고
guess.
생각해.
I think we have no choice
그대로
now,
받아들이긴
although it's not easy to
힘들려.
accept it. Young's face was pale, and Yoo-hyuk stepped in to help her. Yoon was now the only one whining, and who could accept the reality. The remark that the case is closed.
아직 끝나지 않았다고
I don't think it's
생각해.
over yet.
세일이가 정말 자살한
I'm
걸까?
still not sure if Seo really committed
난 아직-
suicide.
도윤아,
Do-yoon,
지금 예능해?
are you playing detective right now?
도윤아,
Do-yoon, you
넌
did your
하마터면
best.
눈앞의 사실을 뒤집고
It's not our
말하면
job to speculate
일이
what's
아니야.
obviously true. Ji-young panted heavily.
누나,
You
괜찮아?
okay, Ji-young? I'm
괜찮아.
fine.
어떤 게 그렇게
So
마음에
what's
걸리는데?
bothering you so bad?
분장실 문
It
잠겨
happened while the
있을 때
dressing room
벌어진
door was
일이잖아.
locked.
거기 어디가 문제라는 건데?
So which part seems to be the problem? Okay. Doesn't think Seo committed suicide. What's the obvious reason? It's gotta either be the diary entry or the neck wound, but I'll say the neck wound.
목에 난 상처야.
The wound on his neck.
세일이는
Seo used the belt hanging himself by the shelf. Oh, oops. Seo used the belt hanging by the shelf to hang himself.
그렇지만 뭔가 이상.
But something doesn't add up. Something felt odd.
위화감이라니?
Odd?
사실 나
Honestly, I didn't see his neck.
나도
Nor
마찬가지.
did I.
삼업
I
거기까지
couldn't bring
볼수
myself to do
없었어.
it.
자세히 본 사람은
I think you were the only one that took a closer look.
어디서 이상하다고
You tell me
느꼈는지
what gave you the leery
알려줄 수
feeling?
뭔지 말해봐. 나도
Tell me
생각해.
so that I can do some thinking myself.
기분상 그렇다는
I hope you
말이
don't say it's a
아니길
gut
바래.
feeling.
자, 어떤
Now,
게
what was
이상했어?
strange? I mean, do they want me to say neck wound again? Hmm. Well, I mean, if he died by hanging, he wouldn't be bleeding everywhere. It's not like he was attacked otherwise, you know what I mean? I just feel like they would have heard him. Yeah, but the bloody fingers might be at, like, while he was getting strangled. You know, like, ripping. That's what Inha said anyway. Oh no, Ju Young. No, Inha said that, yeah. I don't know which one they want.
상처.
The wound went around his neck like a circle. But when I first saw it, the belt around Seo's neck was...
때리지 말고.
Hurry up!
끈은
The strap was hanging under his chin.
도윤이 네 말은
Do-yoon, what you mean is... Ju-young grabbed her neck with her hands.
끈자국. 그러니까
Are you saying there should be wounds only on the front part of his neck? Because of the way he hanged himself?
네, 맞아요.
Yes.
한 바퀴 돌린
The wound that went around his neck and the belt under his chin, they don't seem to add up.
끈 상태로만 보면
If you look at the condition of the belt, Seil should have fallen down if he struggled enough in pain.
우리가 본 건 그냥
He was
매달린
hanging when we
상태였어.
found him.
둘 중에 하나일 거야.
There are two possible explanations. Seil stayed completely still after hanging himself, or he was already in a condition where he couldn't struggle. Everyone suddenly fell silent.
그럼 이제
So-
어떻게 해야 돼?
So, what do we do now? Inha slowly opened her mouth.
동기가 없다.
You guys are saying that that he had no motive.
이런 얘기들이 나오는데
It could have been a murder and blah blah. Then how on earth did he die?
어떻게라면
How?
분장실에 들어가기 전에 우리
Four of us were standing in front of the door before entering the dressing room.
세일이가 가라고
We
한
forced
뒤에
ourselves in when Seil asked us to leave.
자살 말고는
Suicide is the only way to explain the situation.
맞아.
Exactly! That's what I've been telling you!
모든 의혹이
Are you saying all
부질없다는 거야?
suspicions are pointless?
솔직히
To be honest, yes. Am I not right? Dayun asked himself over and over. Buckle advised him to review not only the clues, but also the conclusion. But what is he supposed to do? He wanted to stop grilling everybody, including himself. Dayun let out a ruffled sigh. They were right. He had done his best. He had no more strength to cling on to it. I think that we potentially could have... We must be missing some information somewhere that let us continue the sus. Seil despised Hyesung. Seil murdered Hyesung, who had tried to find an unusual way to survive the auditions. Seil locked himself in the dressing room when his crimes and past were about to be exposed. At the edge of fear and despair, he chose to take his own life. This is what had really happened. Everyone saw, experienced, and justified it. This was the truth everyone wanted to believe. What the hell? Not the broadcasting disclaimer. Doyoon weakly lowered his head. Does that mean we're about to get an ending?
그래. 맞아.
You're right.
세일이가 분장실에
It's a definite
혼자
fact that
있었던
Seil
건
was in the dressing room
분명하지.
alone.
어떤 의혹도
Nothing can
그걸
overturn that
뒤집어.
fact.
내가
I was into my thoughts for too long. The storm of thoughts began to die down. Everyone moved closer to Doyoon.
몇 번이나 돌이켜
You've gone through it over and over.
할 만큼 한
You've
거야.
done your best.
Don't have any faith in humanity.
Ji-young patted his shoulder gently. Think so.
나한테도
I might just want to let go of all this.
몰라.
누나
Ji-young. Let's get out of here alive, Doyoon. It's almost over.
고개 숙이지 마.
Keep your head up.
지금까지
We've survived so
포기하지
far.
않았잖아.
형
Yu-hyuk, do you think this puts an end to it all? Yu-hyuk silently stared at Do-yoon.
널 괴롭히는 질문에
You don't have to deal with those agonizing
날
questions.
봐.
Look at
이렇게
me.
너랑 얘기하는 건
I'm here talking to you
네가
because
구해준 덕분이야.
all because you saved me.
누구한테도 못했던 내
I
얘기도
could tell you my deepest secret,
너한테는 할 수 있었어.
which I've never shared with anybody else.
이젠 내 차례야.
It's my turn to pay you back.
나가면
Unthinkable.
누구한테 말할 거야.
I'll tell everyone once I'm out.
네가 정말로
They
어떤
will know.
사람인지.
They will get to know your heroic nature.
지금은 그것만
Focus on that for now.
거울 있으면 보라고 했을 거야.
I would have asked you to look yourself in the mirror if you had one.
네 얼굴
Your face is all dirty now. Ina put her hand on Do-yoon's shoulder.
차라리
Why don't you just think like I do?
다들 죄값을 치른
They
거야.
all paid for their own sins.
피디님?
Sungyeon, she exploited the workers, resulting in the shoddy construction of the stage. Hyesun threatened others using information he had collected. Se-il collaborated with Sungyeon and attacked Hyesun in a fit of anger.
단정 짓는 거야?
So you're convinced that Se-il did it.
그걸로
Does that put you at ease?
난
I learned something after I sent my father to jail.
여지를 주면
Sinners never repent. The longer you hesitate, the longer they harass you.
치고만 때를 곱씹으면서
You'll end up regretting why you didn't take measures earlier. Okay, that makes me sus Inha for literally everything. Killing Hyesun so that he doesn't spill the beans about her past. Killing Se-il because he was her stalker.
이게
That's what I think. At that moment, there was a roaring sound in the distance. The entire corridor began to shake.
지금까지랑 달라.
Oh man, this is something big. Watch out. Ah, it's coming down.
도윤아,
Doyoon,
난 괜찮아. 누나랑
I'm okay. Where are Ju-young and Inha? You notice that I'm using the Nokia voice for her?
우린 여기 있어.
We are here.
점점 더 세져.
The tremors are getting stronger.
아예 무너지려는 건가?
Is the whole place going to come down? Yu-hyuk grabbed Do-yoon on the shoulder.
도윤아, 무대로 돌아가자.
Agumon! Gabumon! Power of our sexy cute bots to the max! Do-yoon, let's go back to the stage.
그래.
Stage, yes.
Careful.
To the stage. Suddenly, his legs gave out. Yu-hyuk helped him up.
정신 차려.
Wake up!
알겠어.
Okay, I'm okay now.
이제
Yu-hyuk stared at Do-yoon nervously.
도윤아,
Do-yoon,
세일이
can you bring Se-il to
무대로
the
옮겨갈 수
stage?
있겠어? 그냥 두면
He will be buried away if we leave him here.
난 혜성이한테
I'll go
갈게.
find his son. Do-yoon recovered his senses and nodded? Really? First, let's go to the stage. And then I collapse. Actually, can you go take a body down from the dressing room, which might not even be intact anymore? Yeah, sure.
두 사람 먼저 무대로 가세요.
You two should go back to the stage first. Try and call the rescue team.
무대에서 보자.
See you at the stage. Be careful. Yu-hyuk quickly disappeared. Do-yoon also leaped into the dressing room. Do-yoon panted heavily, running towards Se-il. Do-yoon could hear Inha's voice from outside. Sending messages keeps failing, because it's nearly done now. The rescue team is almost there. Hold on just a bit longer. I don't know what's going on in there. Are you still trying to find out the truth in vain? What I have read before may be helpful. Listen. Leave out everything impossible in your situation. And focus only on the remaining facts. Yeah. It's an anonymous person that's been messaging us on our smartwatch. Well, I don't think anybody else is gonna die. I don't know, Thomas. Stories you have seen and heard, clues, reactions, conclusions, and so on. There must be decisive evidence hidden. No matter how uncertain or unbelievable, that must be the truth. I would believe that it's Fail's alt. Also, welcome, Kuroi. We tried to convince everybody that Seiyuu wasn't suicidal, and it fell on deaf ears. And now the whole place is coming down. But you will get out of hell alive, understand? Then we could meet each other face to face. Actually, It's like he lost the signal. Plug hole. Bayun's message had not been sent out either. Need to hurry. He lifted Seiyu's body from the belt. It was heavy. Seiyu looked so light when he was alive. It was the full weight of a person. Bayun pulled the body off the belt. Bayun pulled Seiyu's cold arms around his shoulder. Okay, I'm going back to the stage. Bayun carefully headed to the door while trying not to lose balance. Yeah, that sounds like a clue. Upon reaching the stage, Doyoon laid Seiyu on his back. Hazy lights illuminated Seiyu's discolored face.
너만 왔어?
You came alone?
규혁이는?
Where's Gyu-hyuk? Wait a minute, Tom, did you get this?
여기 있어요.
Over here. Gyu-hyuk put Hyesung down and walked toward Doyoon.
도윤아.
Doyoon, was everything okay?
아깐 뭐라고 했냐?
Did you say to me moments ago?
세일이 옮길 때 뭐라고
You said
했잖아.
something when you were moving Seiyu.
이나야, 구조대.
Ina, the rescue team! Oh, that's not her voice.
아,
Oh, that's my
그건 내 전화에
phone!
구조대가 연락했어.
The rescue team called us, but I couldn't answer it.
나한테 다시 걸어서 내가 받았어.
They called me again, so I answered it.
통로로 오는데 실패해서
They couldn't approach through the corridor, so they'll come through the ceiling instead.
금방 온댔어. 조금만 개기면
They'll be here in no time if we can just hold out.
개 놀랐네.
Gosh, it scared the heck out of me. The door to the central corridor disappeared behind the wreckage. Was the tremor growing stronger because the rescue team was forcing their way in? Or was it an omen signaling the total collapse of the building? His heart began to race. The blood in my body violently raged like a tsunami. Yoon massaged his stiff shoulder. Gyu-hyuk, who had just came back from the backstage, held his hand. Oh,
괜찮아?
you okay? You look pale.
지금 완전
이제 와서 기절하고 그러진 말아줘.
Please don't faint on me now.
아,
I'm fine, just a bit shaken. No, actually, he was missing something. The things he'd seen and heard so far. The things he already knew or newly discovered. There was a certain inconsistency between them. Doyoon shook his head hard. With the rescue team just around the corner, maybe he was losing his mind in this tense situation. All those little shards of memory which would disappear after evacuation were bugging him. Izzy. The memories, conversations, photos, documents, fader, and messages were all dancing around in his head. His heart was beating fast. It felt like his chest would burst open.
야, 너 진짜 왜 그래?
Doyoon, seriously, what's the matter with you? I was wrong. The remaining truth after erasing all the wrong possibilities. The decisive clue. Oh, fuck. To hide the truth, Seiyu took his own life? No, that's not it.
I was
Beads of
wrong.
sweat oozed out of his clenched fist. Doyoon raised his head and looked them in the eye.
할 말이 있어요.
I have something to say. Everyone stared at Do-yoon with bewildered looks on their faces.
세일이
Sale did not kill himself.
뭔가 생각났어?
Something came to mind?
너 대체 몇
Will you
살까지
ever
알아?
stop?
도윤아
Do-yoon, the rescue team is coming soon, so why don't you just...
몇 번을 따져도
We always come to the
똑같지.
same conclusion. Do you want me to go over it again?
상황을 쭉 떠올려봐.
Okay, I wish we had this map the entire game. Let's recall all the events in order.
우린 분장실
We
문
were
앞에
standing
모여
before the door of the dressing room door. Oh my god, this is so helpful.
있었어. 우리가 걔한테 문 열라고
We
했지.
asked him to open the door, right?
그랬더니 얘기할 거
He
없다고
resisted,
했어.
saying he had nothing to say.
그때 진동이
And a
한번
big
크게
tremor
왔고,
came.
멈췄을 땐
Yeah, it's the
분장실에서
same thing,
아무
huh?
대답이 없었어.
When it stopped, there was no answer from the dressing room.
저지른 건 분명히
The incident
이때였을
must
거고.
have happened during this time.
억지로 들어가서 불
When
켜고
we
봤을
forced
땐
ourselves in and already...
다음이었잖아.
Oh, and turned on the lights, it was already over.
생각해봐.
Think about it.
하는 방법밖엔
He could have
없다고.
done it only by himself.
그 사이엔
No one had a
아무
chance
팀도
during that
없었어.
time.
혹시
Are you trying to say there is an assassin or something?
분장실에
Or a ninja who was
닌자라고
hiding in the
나왔다고?
dressing room?
이나야
Inha,
진정해.
relax.
도윤아
Do-yoon,
세일이랑
we
얘기할
were
때
all standing in the
우리
corridor
목표였었어.
when we talked to Seo.
인정하기
I
힘들어도
know it's hard to admit it,
자살은
but this was
확실한
clearly a
사실이야.
suicide. Yu-hyuk's refutation pained Do-yoon. But Do-yoon shook his head.
방법은
No,
있었어.
there was a way.
이미 살해당한
A way to hear
세일이의
Seil's voice
목소리를
even
들었고.
after he was already murdered. Oh! Is it really gonna come back to the recording device?
너
Are you out of your mind?
미쳤냐?
But at that point, was it Inha or was it Yu-hyuk? I think we blame Inha.
대체 뭘 보고 갑자기 그러는 건데?
How is that possible? What one do we say? It can't be the tablet, right? Tablet was broken for a long time, according to Ju-young. It has to be the watch. The smartwatch. We all have them.
그걸로
The attacker used it to play Seil's voice at a specific time.
지금 무슨 얘기라는 거야?
What do you mean, why Inha? She's... Both Inha and Yu-hyuk could have done both of the kills. Ju-young's the only one that we're clear of. What are you talking about?
스마트워치?
Smartwatch? Are you saying it's really one of us?
잠깐.
Wait, the problem is how.
세일은 우리가 말을
Seal
들었을
answered
때
us when we called out to him.
스마트워치로
How could the
어떻게
attacker
세일이
play
목소리를
Seil's voice with a smartwatch?
대답할 수 있어.
Possible.
스마트워치로
There's a way to play
정확한
Seil's
타이밍에
voice at just the
소리를
right time. How do you play the voice with the watch at the right time? The speakers? Wait, what do you mean? Ringtone. Recording app. Oh, right. Well, what I'm wondering is, what if they played it from outside the door? So we would have heard it, I guess? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the last one would be. Hey Marcus, welcome to the stream. Would it be the phone app? I'm not really sure. Let's try it.
녹음 기능이야.
The record app. His voice could have been recorded and set as a ringtone. That's how I heard Inha's ringtone in the dressing room.
아깐 뭐라고 한 거야? 세일이 옮길 때 뭐라고 했잖아.
아, 그건 내 전화야.
문 너머에선
I was behind the door, so it was hard for me to tell if the voice had been recorded or if it was real.
그럼
Then how would you play it at a specific time?
전화야.
Using the phone app.
스마트워치에
The
전화를
attacker
걸어
called the
벨소리가
smartwatch
들리는
to
거야.
play the ringtone.
전제부터 틀렸던 거야.
We began with the wrong premise.
복도에 모여 목소리를 들었을
When we
때
heard the voice in the corridor,
우린 당연히
of course we thought
세일이
Seo was alive,
실제로는 그렇지
but he
않았던
wasn't.
세일이는
Seo was already dead.
우리가 들은 건
What we
녹음된
heard was a recorded voice and the watch's ringtone.
그러니까 이건
So
불가능한
this
사건이야.
opens another possibility.
시간을 속여서
The attacker would
불가능해
simply
보이게
messed
만든
up our
것뿐이었다.
timeline by deceiving us with this time trick. Ju-young raised her head hastily.
잠깐.
So-yoon, wait!
네 말대로 하려면
Well, that would require 2 watches.
맞아.
That's true. The voice clearly came from inside the dressing room.
전화를 거는 워치랑
You would need 2
벨소리를
watches.
울릴 워치.
One to call, and one to play the ringtone. Hyesung's watch! That's why he went to go get Hyesung to put the watch back on him. Ah! It was Gyuhak! Oh no! Oh!
Look at me.
Oh my god, that is such a gag.
워치 두 개를
In order to
쓰려면
use 2
이건
watches,
짜지
at
않고
least 2
삽니다.
people would need to collaborate.
워치를 분실한
Nobody
사람,
lost their watch. Maybe you're
생각이
overthinking
지나친
it.
걸지도.
They were right. Is this like the true ending? Did we accidentally happen upon this? Where are you, Tom? This theory would require 2 smartwatches. It's possible.
우리 다 워치를 차고
Even if
있었어도
all of us were wearing our watches, the watch that was used to manipulate the time of Seal's death was... Hyesung's watch.
혜성이가 가진 워치였어. 그럼 우리가 다 워치를 차고 있어도
Then it's
가능해.
possible even if all of us were wearing our watches.
시신의 워치를
You just have to
풀어서
take off Hyesung's watch and put it in the dressing room.
맞아.
That's right! Hyesung had a watch too!
그럼
So only one person could make the ringtone play.
가능하다.
남의 워치
Are you saying the attacker took off someone else's watch and changed the ringtone?
자기 것도 아닌데.
How could they do that if it wasn't theirs?
그건 쉬운
It's
일이야.
easy because they all have the same password, bitch!
워치 비번은
There's only one password.
워치만 확보하면
Anyone can change that setting as long as they have the watch.
누구나라는 건
You suggesting that any one of us could be the murderer? No, you. Why did you do it?
그런 건
That's
말도 안
no
돼.
way.
너 왜 끝에 다 와서
Why are
그래?
you doing this when it's all settled?
잠깐.
Wait.
네 말대로 해도
Even if what you said was true, there's a problem.
세율의 목소리를
When did the
어디서
attacker
녹음한
record
거야?
Seil's voice? When he was... I don't know.
또 어떻게 분장실로 들어가 살인을
And how
저지른
did he
거야?
enter the dressing room to murder Seil?
타이밍도 들어갈
There's
방법도
no explanation for when and how. His heart began to thump. It was just that he had to speak the truth that nobody wanted to hear.
처음 세일이를 뒤쫓아
When
분장실 앞에
when
갔을
we first followed Seil to the entrance of the dressing room, Seil was clearly alive.
그래.
Yes,
넷이서
4 of
함께
us moved
움직였고
together, and we had a proper conversation.
저랑 누나가 무대에 다녀온 다음에 들은 세일이의 목소리가
We heard Seil's voice when Ju Young and I came back from the stage. If that voice was the recorded ringtone,
타이밍은
there was only one chance to do that.
너
You mean
저랑 누나가 무대로 갔을 때
when Ju Young and I went to the stage,
니나 그리고
when,
규혁이 형이 남아
when
있었던
Inha and Yu Hyuk were in the corridor,
아무리 생각해도
was the only possible time.
네가 하고 싶은 말.
So that's what you wanted to say after all.
둘중 하나가
That one of the two is the murderer.
살인.
No. If the two of them didn't collaborate with each other, then the murderer is only one person.
도윤아
Do you?
잠깐.
Let's say you're right. Then how did the murderer enter the dressing room? The master key that he took from Songyun. Bada bing, bada boom. Or it fell out of Seil's bag. Anyway, it would make sense that he already had the master key from Songyun. That's why he told Ju Young and Do-yoon to go check when he knew it would just get them away from the scene. Inha goes to the back corridor. He's alone. He opens the door. He kills Seil. It couldn't have been Inha because Inha's not strong enough to lift him up.
문장 두고 다
He told everyone to take a hike after locking himself in, so how were we supposed to go in there?
세일이가
The reason Seil ran away.
그걸 이용해서
The attacker took advantage of that to make Seil open the door voluntarily. Really? Wait, what?
네가 생각하는 이유
So, what do you think the reason was? Bayoon slowly opened his mouth after a brief silence.
세일이가 도망친
Seil ran away because... Fuck. What do I say? Seil seemed to be afraid that the contents of his messenger bag would make him seem suspicious. I mean, that's true. As the suspicion grew more and Inha began to blame Seil, he seemed to have been embarrassed and felt betrayed by her. Fuck. I don't know which one this is. I think it's sense of betrayal. You think targeting? I know, Itir. I know. We're going with it. We're going with it. He was afraid of someone who might have murdered Hyesung. He wouldn't have opened the door for his prime suspect. Then the person who was least suspected at that time was...
규혁이 형이야.
It's Gyu-hyuk.
도윤아, 너
Do-yoon, are you?
혜성이 때 알리바이가
Gyu-hyuk and I were the
필요했던 건
least suspected at the
형과
time.
나 둘이었어. 살아있을 때 만나고
Because it was
지내고
apparent that
확실했으니까.
we met him while he was alive.
그래서 문을 열어준
That's
거야.
why Seal opened the door for us.
나랑 영희 누나를 무대로 보냈지.
You sent Ju-young and me to the stage in search of the master key.
이나는 뒷문을
Then you
보라면서
sent Inha to the
스토커로
staff corridor to make her watch the rear door.
그때였어.
It was the only time, Gyu-hyuk.
너
Who are you doubting this time?
도윤아, 그건 아닌 것
Do-yoon,
같아.
you must be mistaken.
기억이 아니라
No one here,
누구도
including Gyu-hyuk, has a
사람을
reason
죽일
to
리가
murder
없어.
anyone. Gyu-hyuk, who was blankly staring at Do-yoon, finally opened his mouth. Well, actually, Spectro, on episode 1, I did say it's always the, like, well-dressed, like, older-looking gentleman characters in these games. And it kind of looks like it happened again. There was something that was bugging me about the time that they all went to meet with Hyesung. Where Gyu-hyuk just pretty much reiterated everything that we said, and I was like, I think this is the true ending.
도윤아,
Do-yoon.
형.
Gyu-hyuk, I want to check
확인할 게
something.
있어. 혜성이를 옮겨왔지.
You moved Hyesung's body.
What's wrong?
How was the watch?
그 지금
Mind if I see it now?
확인해 볼 수. 워치
His smartwatch.
옮기면서
It got broken while I was carrying
고장
Hyesung.
나버렸어.
The sweat in the palms of Do-yoon's hands turned cold. When Gyu-hyuk decided to separate everyone at the corridor, he already had a plan to murder Seil. Hyesung's broken watch must have been part of his plan too. It was clear that he wanted to provide himself with an alibi by destroying the evidence. Did I, Tom?
도윤아,
Do-yoon, why are you accusing me?
세일이가 스스로한
You
게
know Seil
진심이잖아.
took his own life.
누나 말대로야.
Young is right. No one in here has a reason to hurt
사람을
anyone.
해칠 이유가
Hyuk's voice began to shake a little. Do-yoon felt like crying.
이유는
Reason is...
그건
it's... Oh boy. Gotta be this. I thought we were for sure going to a bad ending, and they were just gonna accept that Seil committed suicide when that's definitely not the case. And then they were gonna get rescued, and it was gonna be like an unsolved mystery kind of thing. But apparently, we were on the money.
세일이가
Because Seil conducted illegal background
뒷조사했기
checks on the
때문에
contestants.
메신저 백 안에는
The messenger bag was full of all sorts of personal information, the results of background checks. I thought that's what was happening.
무대에 그게
When
쏟아졌어.
everything fell out onto the stage, you saw something. And he took it out of Yu Hyuk's hands, remember? Yes.
뒷조사 자료에 뭔가
Something crucial in the background check documents?
세일이가 도망친
Seo ran away because he was afraid of the attacker.
세일이는 진범이
Seo must have thought you were Hyesung's attacker.
뭐?
You kidding?
따로 혜성이를 만나러
You went to see Hyesung alone and you were not in the dressing room, but somewhere else at the estimated time of his death.
완전 헛.
That's ridiculous!
나도 아니라고 생각해.
Don't believe it. I don't believe it either. I'm just speculating on what Seo might have been thinking.
세일이는 네 편을 들면서
Yeah, don't worry, Ina. We trusted you the whole time. Seo must have thought that he would be safe if he was on your side.
그치만 과거가 까이면서
But he ran off after being
공격받았고.
challenged by you as his past was exposed.
그래서
He only opened the door for Gyu Hyuk, whom he thought was definitely not the attacker.
그래요.
Right. The topic concerning the background check goes all the way back to Hyesung's case.
혜성이는 출연자들을 따로 불러 협박을 걸었어요.
No, Tom, I felt like Inha was the too obvious to be it culprit, other than Seil. Also, after last stream, we just trusted her. It became more apparent that she's the type to jump to conclusions and not actually be able to plan anything. Yeah. Hyesung called the contestants one by one and tried to threaten each.
약점이라고 생각한
He tried to
걸
push them to
알아냈어.
resign by threatening their weaknesses.
네 말은
You mean Hyesung and Seil both shared the same information?
그래.
Yes, but I'm not sure if Seil was aware of that.
혜성이는 형한테
Hyesung told Gyu Hyuk about something that he had heard from Sungyun.
뒷조사는
Sungyun
PD님
ordered the background check, so she must have been debriefed about the results.
PD님과 혜성이
And Sungyun and Hyesung were in a romantic relationship for some time. The light slowly faded from Gyu Hyuk's eyes. Doyoon. Yoon bit his lip.
메신저 백이 쏟아졌을
What you
때
saw when the things fell out of the messenger bag was the background check
뒷조사
documents,
자료들이 있다는 사실이었어요.
which the source of Hyesung's threats.
지금 얘기 내가 잘못.
Did I just understand correctly? So Hyesung was also...
아니야. 그건
That's
불가능해.
impossible.
그때를 다시 생각해봐.
Think about what happened back then.
처음에 혜성이가 도윤이 널 분장실로 불렀지?
At first, Hyesung called you, Do-yoon, to the dressing room, right?
얘기를
I
해봤지만
tried to talk to him, but he didn't listen.
그래서 너 혼자
So you
무대에
came back to the
왔지?
stage alone! Also, if... Okay, if Yu Hyuk is the killer, which it seems like he is at this point, he's clearly a psycho, and why isn't he, taking somebody hostage while I just out all of his dirty laundry, you know? So you came back to the stage alone.
다음에 기혁이가
Yu
분장실에
Hyuk
왔어.
went next to the dressing room,
그때쯤 크게
and a
진동이
loud tremor had occurred.
저도 실패하고
I also
무대로
failed and came back to the stage.
그래서 다 무대에 모여 있었는데
So we were all at the stage.
서혜성이 또 페이터 글을 올렸었지.
Hyesung wrote out another post
어디서 올렸는지
from God knows where.
다음으로 이나가 잠시 뒤에 세일이가 갔어.
Inha went next, and Seil left shortly after.
갔을 땐
By the time I arrived,
화장실로 간
by the time I
다음이었어.
arrived, he was already in the restroom. Yeah, maybe.
난 스텝 복도로 장세일은 분장실로
I went to the
갔고.
staff corridor and Seil to the dressing room.
이런
At this time, only Seil could have murdered Hyesung.
기억이 나 도윤이는 무대에
Yu-hyuk,
있었지.
Do-yoon, and I were on
왜
stage.
불가능하다고 하는지 알겠어?
Do you see why it was impossible? No, it's not.
이나가 분장실로 떠나기 전 다
When
모여
all of
있었을 때
us were together before Inha left for the dressing room,
혜성이는
Hyesung was arguing with S. Sungyeon.
중이었어. 우리가 다 증인인 거나 마찬가지야.
All of us are witnesses to that.
도윤아,
Do-yoon, I understand.
혼란스러울 거야.
You must be terribly
나도
confused,
그래.
just like I am.
하지만 수상한 점을
Doubts can
늘어놓는다고
rise, but they
진실과
cannot
아니야.
be held true without proper explanation.
무대도 이젠
The
위태로워.
stage is quite unstable. We should focus on the rescue team's arrival. Do-yoon instinctively stepped back.
도윤아,
Do-yoon. What he had heard and seen, those clues, responses, and conclusions, exclude all of the impossibilities and focus on what remains. Then no matter how shocking it is, it will be the truth.
누나 말이 맞잖아.
Couldn't agree more with Ju-young.
글
We were all together when we saw Hyesung's post. Again, it could be auto. It could be the auto. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. We knew. We knew. They used auto write to send the message after he was already dead.
정해진 시간마다
There's
글을
auto
올리는
write function, which posts an article at a specified time.
형은 그걸로
You use it to upload a post after Hyesung's death.
그럼 우리가 알던
With this possibility in mind, we can restructure the whole story completely.
처음은 제가 혜성이가 있는 분장실
I was the first to meet Hyesung. I went to the dressing room to meet him.
설득은 통하지
I couldn't
않았죠.
persuade him,
혼자
so I came back to the stage.
다음이
Yu-hyuk was next. Really, Tom? I actually thought about that when we were investigating Hyesung's body. I was like, y'all need to check his auto write, because that would let us know if he actually typed his most recent post, since they were going really ham on the timelines and it wasn't an option. So I'm glad that this was revisited.
그때 큰 진동이 일어났죠.
And there was a big tremor.
혜성이가 화장실로 간건
I think Hyesung went to the restroom around this time.
진동으로
He
분장실이
didn't think the
위험하다고.
dressing room was safe, and from more tremors.
그리고 화장실에서
And in the restroom, Hyesung was murdered.
청소 용구를 둔기로
Considering the broken mop shaft lying on the floor, and Hyesung's body left in the storage area,
우발적인
the
일이었어.
attack should have been impulsive.
그대로 두면
At the
누가
time,
했는지
it was
모르겠어.
obvious as to who did it. That's when he thought of auto write.
서해성 자동 쓰기 언제였지?
When was the last time Hyesung's auto write was activated?
그게
Well,
40분.
it auto writes hourly at 40 minutes past the hour.
형은 자동 쓰기 내용을
Yu-hyuk,
바꾸고
you changed the
무대로
message
돌아왔어요.
to auto write and came back to the stage.
이야기하면서
You try to delay the others from going into the dressing room by talking to us.
그리고 시간이
And at the set time,
바꿔둔 자동 쓰기가 타임라인에
changed
올라왔어.
auto write message was posted on the timeline.
혜성이는 쭉 S 승용과 싸우는
Hyesung had been arguing with S.
우린
Sungyeon
그게
for some time,
계속된다고 착각했죠.
so we were easily led to believe that their fight was still going on,
사실은
when in
이미
fact
죽은
Seiyu was
다음에
already dead. By that he means Hyesung. Silly translators.
그럼
So he allowed me to go
자동
next.
쓰기가 올라간
Because the
다음에
auto write message was already posted. He should not have been discovered before the post, but it didn't matter if it was after.
형이 만나고 올 때까지
Hyesung was still alive when Yu-hyuk came back after meeting him.
이걸 확고하게 만드는 게 제일
This was what
중요했어.
Yu-hyuk wanted us to believe.
잠깐. 혜성이가
Wait,
죽은 다음에도
another auto
자동
write
쓰기는
message was
올라왔어.
posted even after Hyesung's death. I'm sure of it.
죽은 다음에
Are
다시
you saying he
돌려놓았던 거야?
changed the message back after Hyesung had died? He didn't have time for that.
있었어.
In fact, there was.
화장실에서
When we
시신을
were
조사.
inspecting the body in the restroom.
누나, 같이
Ju-young,
보낸 데를
think about the
떠올려보세요.
time we were examining the body together.
특히 워치를
Especially when we checked the watch.
나?
Huh? We
그게 워치 겉에
we
사람들이
checked if the
있는지
watch surface was intact. After that,
기억이가
Yu-hyuk.
워치는 깨끗해. 깨지거나 풀어서 가져가지도 않았어.
전원도 켜져 있어요. 어때? 뭔가 있어?
페이터 한 걸 빼면
형이 이것저것 조작해보고
Yuhyuk took it and gave it back to me after fiddling with it.
페이터 말고는 별게
He said
없다.
there was nothing special other than Fader.
다 있는 데서
He changed it when everyone was there?
신경 쓰기는 생각조차
Auto-write
못한
didn't even cross our mind at that time.
그래서 할 수 있었던 거야.
Well,
눈앞에서.
that's why he could boldly change it in front of us. It was a little different from the original message.
조금 달라져 버렸어.
Oh god. Oh god, we're about to have the face crack. I gotta go get wine. I'm sorry, I'll be right back. Oh boy, Kittle. Kittle, Kittle.
Hurry! Hurry!
Coming.
God! Where are you?
Okay. 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 It was a little different from the original message.
문장 부호 정도였지.
Although they were just punctuation marks.
마음이
Because I was in a hurry.
규호가
Yuhyuk, are you admitting to what he said?
거야? 한도윤 말이면 이런 것까지 받아줘?
Are you going along with him because he saved your life?
장세일에
When he's accusing you of murdering Seil and Hyesung?
도윤아,
Do-yoon, do you know the reason?
형.
Yuhyuk. Do-yoon felt like something hot was spewing from his heart.
이런 짓에
Is there a reason for this madness?
말해줘.
Please tell me.
알고 있는 걸
Everything you know or what you found out.
모두 알아내.
I'm just curious if you figured out everything. Yuhyuk stared at Do-yoon with his dark eyes. Do-yoon could feel the pain after biting his parched lip. I knew. The talk they had after opening up to each other, and the background check info that he discovered at the end. Stories were not in accordance with each other. So wait, you can only get this if you max rapport with Yuhyuk, right? Otherwise, the reason lies somewhere in the contradicting clues. Oh, fuck. A background check clue. It contains the names of a student who lost his scholarship opportunity and his professor. The investigation results of young Lee's accident and a relative contact. The paternity report. Oh, it's a lie. He's not really the son. Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh! Marcus, have you been watching our playthrough or have you played this yourself? This game is throwing me in so many different emotional directions. What do we choose? What? So wait a minute. This professor has Hyesung's family name. That's an uncle. That's how the father died. The person that lost the scholarship was, their name is Lee. Like, that's Byung Hee Lee's family. Our paternity test has confirmed 99.99% blood relationship between Byung Hee Lee and Yoo Hyuk Lee. Oh, okay, so maybe I'm wrong. We had difficulty collecting DNA of the deceased person, thus incurring extra labor cost. For details, please see the attached bill. We confirm that Yoo Hyuk Lee was listed in the family registration document as a legitimate son of Byung Hee Lee. His job incurred extra labor cost. Okay. We're sorry to inform you that our meeting minutes regarding scholarship recipients in 2014 cannot be personally requested by individuals. If you want a copy of it, you will have to go to legal proceedings. Shit. Reason lies somewhere in the contradicting. It's gotta be the memo. I think it's just... Is it just the first three? I'm really nervous to get this wrong. Okay, let's try it. The background check memo contained information about the accident when Byung Hee Lee was killed. It said that another passenger had died too, and it was his wife. Oh! Oh shit! Okay, we got one of these wrong. The diabetes story. Your mother was also killed in the accident. The report from the private investigator. There was a document from the parentage test, which was conducted to see if you were Byung Hee's biological son. B-Stars has crossed the line as it conducted this kind of unreasonable background check. Fortunately, your DNA matched.
그런 식의 뒷조사는
Other contestants were also subject to this kind of mad background check.
다 동기는 있다는 얘기는
That means
마찬가지야.
everyone could have had the same motive.
그런 거.
Oh,
장학금에 관련된
Scholarship document.
대학교에
there was a document about his communication with his university regarding the scholarship. Yu-hyuk continued to feel hurt by that internet story.
그게 살인을
Hurt enough to
했던
commit
거야?
murder?
학교에서도 문제가 있다고 답을 보냈어?
Did the school confirm that there was a problem?
아니,
No, they refused to provide any kind of answer.
틀렸어.
This isn't right.
괜찮아.
It's okay, Do-yoon.
아직 숨기는 게
You're
있잖아.
still holding something, Yu-hyuk. Be honest with us, please.
그건 안 돼.
No, sorry.
어디 가는 거야?
Where are you going?
그쪽
It's dangerous over there.
날 도와줘.
Help me. Oh, fuck. He's gonna kill himself, and we couldn't figure it out.
이쯤에서
Help me put an end to this now.
말도 안 되는 소리 집어치워.
Enough with your nonsense! Taeyun quickly stepped forward. I betrayed everyone. Taeyun came to a sudden stop,
널
especially you.
도윤이 네가
You
구해준
saved me,
목숨으로
but I killed the others.
용서받지 못할
I've
죄를
committed an
지어놓고
unpardonable sin and tried to hide it.
그러니까
So I am the real betrayer. For a second, Yu-hyuk stopped talking. Still, I want you to do me a favor.
너라면 괜찮아.
I know I can trust
날
you.
내버려둬.
Leave me alone and tell the world everything when you get out of here.
내가
Tell
무슨
people what I
짓을
did.
했는지 믿을게.
You'll do that for me, right?
넌
Because you're not a betrayer. Taeyun tried to step forward, but his feet wouldn't move. Taeyun just stood there, nervously staring at Yu-hyuk. Thank you.
나는
This is where I end it all. Yu-hyuk lowered his head and fell silent.
남은 진실은
Yeah, we fucked up at the very end.
형
Taeyun,
아직
there's something I haven't told you yet, Yu-hyuk. Taeyun staggered on the floor and managed to stand before where Yu-hyuk was buried. There was a trail of dark blood under his feet, a pungent odor coming from the burning dust. It was blood. Taeyun dropped to his knees.
이걸 바란 게 아니야.
Can't let you go, not yet. No answer from the rubble that became a grave. Taeyun saved Yu-hyuk from the collapse, and Yu-hyuk went on to kill so many of the ruin stage. Along with the truth exposed right before the rescue, tried to run away forever. Crap! We got a bad ending. I couldn't do it at the very end. Taeyun stood by the long corridor. Late afternoon sunlight shined through the window. He watched the clouds float by slowly. A month had passed since the accident. Buried Stars, the survival audition show, was to be continued. Stage collapse, murders, severe disciplinary actions against the officials, investigation, the unprecedented bedlam put the program at the center of national attention. Yu-hyuk's suicide. Articles about the conflict between the police and Yu-hyuk's family were covered by the media every day. The deaths of the contestants were glorified as the legacy to be inherited by talented others. WBS fought the storm of criticism head on. WBS declared the continuation of the show. To keep the dream alive for the deceased contestants, the viewers showed mixed responses. Do-yoon decided not to join the show. He could no longer participate in the show. More importantly, he didn't want to. The protection measure and interrogation also ended by that time. He couldn't get in touch with Plughole anymore, who had been sending various messages until the rescue team came. A month had passed since the rescue. He could finally walk the corridor by himself without any help. Ju-young decided to join the 5th season of Buried Stars. The crowd applauded her for showing such courage despite the tragic accident. It seemed that the rumors have already died out and her old footage was no longer the subject of mockery. One day, Do-yoon saw Ju-young on TV.
전
I will not give up. I'm going all the way. Unlike before, Ju-young expressed her strong conviction throughout the entire interview. She was also doing extremely well in opinions poll. Way to go, Ju-young. Do-yoon muttered to himself unknowingly. People didn't know her. She was the one with true inner strength. Whatever happened, she wouldn't give up due to the hardship or humiliation. Do-yoon prayed for Ju-young to achieve her dreams. Yoon had decided to drop out of the audition after getting out of the hospital, because she wanted to get some rest in a quiet environment.
붕대 감고 난리가 났네.
Oh my!
미라야?
What's with the bandage? What are you, a mummy?
렌즈 뺐네.
You took out your contacts. No more blue eyes? Inha blinked.
카메라 앞에 설 일도
No.
없고.
I hope
이제 생긴 대로
I
살
don't
거야.
have to stand in front of a camera anymore, so who cares?
솔직히 렌즈
I felt like
낄
my
때마다
eyes would pop out every
빠지는
time
줄
I wore
알았어.
my contacts.
오디션 접었으면
Hey, Nekji.
이젠 뭐 할 거야?
Now that you're done with the audition, what are you gonna do?
또 바뀌어야지. 내가 진짜 바라는 모양으로.
I'll change myself again to someone I really want to become. Inha's confident eyes began to lose their edges.
사실
To be honest, I'm not
아직도
still
자주
free from the
떠올라.
memory.
구조되기 전에
The last moment right before we got rescued.
죽은 사람들.
The dead people. Murder at the scene. Yu-hyuk, the murderer, took his own life right before the rescue. At the question if she was going back to Busan, Inha shook her head.
거긴 내 집이지.
My crew is like my family, but there's something else I want to do.
뭔가 찾아낸 거야?
And what?
나
I found out that I like the stage itself, not necessarily performing.
공부를
I want to study.
대해서.
The stage directing.
도망치느라
I've been so busy running away that I forgot how to study. Inha stopped talking for a
이런
moment.
마당에
Any words of advice? As Do-yoon pondered what to say, Inha scratched her neck.
왜 멍 때려?
Silence is not appreciated unless you are stunned by my beauty. I must confess, I'm not stunned at all.
덕담하고 말 게 뭐 있어?
Actually, you don't need my
네가
advice.
바라는 대로 잘 되겠지.
You found what you want to do. Go enjoy it. That's all that matters. I knew you would say that. Ina turned around near the door.
돌아올 거지? 무대로.
You'll come back to stage, right?
갑자기 인터뷰
Huh?
모드야.
Are you gonna hire me or something?
널 위한 무대.
I'll prepare a special stage for you to come back.
울적하다고.
Don't go off the
점수타고
grid
그러지
just
말기다.
because you're depressed, okay?
다른 뭘 할
What else
수
can
있겠어?
I do?
그래서 얘기하는 거야.
That's what I'm saying.
퇴원.
I'll wait for your comeback. Just like that, Inha was gone, and she was forgotten from people's memory. Do-yoon sometimes thought of her last remark when he saw her last time. He wondered if he would get to stand on one of Inha's stages. His heart began to race whenever he pictured the day in his mind. This is unbelievable, Jia. Seil's notebook was released to the media to stir up the community. The background check, exploitation, and the staff member who was harassed but mesmerized at the same time.
Just the worst.
There was an article about a publishing company contacting the family of the deceased. company wanted to publish a book based on their story, and the notebook in particular. The publication of the book was making steady progress while feeding people's criticism and curiosity. One day, Do-yoon recollected a moment he had with Seo.
저기 제가 설 수 있을 거라고.
그래? 베스타 해보면
알 때도 됐어. 저기 서는 사람, 보는 사람.
Would he have said something else back then? Do-yoon sometimes thought about what kind of response would have been better at that time. Oh shit, is that asking me to change that up? Still, it wouldn't be impossible for him to undo what he had done or what had happened to him. Everything had already happened. Worrying and speculating were for the living. The song Hyesung had performed during the finals topped the music charts for a while.
Great landing!
The practice take he recorded on his smartwatch was also scheduled to be released after processing. Ah, look how good he looks!
차트 상위권을 차지하는 세태에
There were growing concerns over the social phenomenon where a school bully's song was topping the musical charts. His scandal with Sungyun didn't have any further impact now that both of them were gone. Even Seo's notebook didn't stop people from paying their tribute to the young talent. There was some criticism that the deceased were being exploited for profit. Yeah, Lucas, there is. Now that the controversy was at its peak, Hyesung was the center of attention. The sad thing was that he was not in this world anymore.
이런 끝을 바라진 않았을 거 아니야.
I'm sure you didn't want this kind of end. Do-yoon sometimes thought about Hyesung, more like all the time. He behaved for his own pleasure, threatened the others in rage, expressed anger and fear. One minute he was a sweet guy, and then suddenly he got all mad. Which was his true side? Do-yoon shook his head. He knew it was hard to define a person's personality with a few words. Would he be able to get to know him more if he was alive? Everyone thought they knew Hyesung, but he died leaving behind the mystery of who he really was. Yoo-hyuk was cremated and his ashes were spread over his parents' grave. It was bedlam at the site, swarming with his fans, reporters, and families of victims. The veiled family history of the legendary singer-songwriter was broadcast day after day on television. Yoo-hyuk's paternal family did not attend the funeral, but issued a timely joint statement. Yoo-hyuk had been practically a stranger ever since we disowned his father, but we are truly sorry for what has happened. We deeply apologize for the crime committed by one of our relatives. They relapsed into silence after the brief statement. There were rumors that some of the family members were exerting influence in various ways to protect the honor of the family. There was also talk about the family taking civil action against those who were spreading internet rumors. Memory of that tragic day came back to Do-yoon vividly as he closed his eyes. He still remembered those final moments, even down to the tingling he had felt in his toes. Just like his hesitant footsteps, Do-yoon was stuck in the moment. The moment when the rescue team arrived, the moment when the murderer Yoo-hyuk took his own life. To be more exact, the moment when he let out his last words, Yoo-hyuk, I had something to tell you. Do-yoon spoke to Yoo-hyuk as if he was with him. No answer. Hyuk died that day, buried under the wreckage. As he'd wanted. Oh, I'm definitely redoing. Since accepting his last request, Do-yoon had been still living in the moment. This would continue for a long time or forever. So, okay. If we answered those 3 things correctly, I got 0 out of 3. Tom, did I have access to the correct answers, or do I need to do a full playthrough? That's pretty much this game's password thing. Like, remember in VLR? BLR had passwords you could only get, and they would unlock routes. So, if I don't have all the information, I might not be able to use them. Sung-Yun Shin, the chief producer of Buried Stars Season 4. Her brother tried to receive the insurance money and compensation. Okay, gotcha, Tom. But their estranged parents appeared to claim it too. Their parents had gotten divorced long ago. The remaining family members quarreled with one another over the inheritance. Amidst all the conflicts, it was newly revealed that Sung-Yun had been abused and neglected for a long time when she was little. The media predicted a long and messy legal war among the family members. Then they poured gossip about the tragic family history of the genius producer who died at an early age. Sung-Yun used to cook up other people's stories as she pleased to achieve her career success. What would she think of all the gossip about her now? Do-yoon was often curious about that. We got a lot of trophies. Holy shit. He wiped the cold windowsill with his finger. A bare tree stood on the other side. The last leaf barely clinging to a branch swayed precariously. Do-yoon continued to reiterate the thing he couldn't speak out. The truth had been buried away, even at the last moment, where all the crimes were exposed. The wind picked up and it began to claw at Do-yoon. Lingering wounds on his tongue scattered away. Do-yoon looked out the window again. The last leaf finally fell from the branch and wandered about in the air. We are so getting it this time! Ugh! That was a good... I feel like that was a good ending to get first, but we are going right back.
Go back.
We are going right back, and we are going to get the correct things with Yu-hyuk. Yeah, Nekji, I'm pretty sure that was a wrong translation. Unless if I just misread. Probably the hardest part about this game is, the times it asks questions and asks you to present evidence, it's very ambiguous as to what they want you to say. Like, I trip up there literally all the time, so I'm not surprised that we fucked it up. It's unfortunate I couldn't pangy my way all the way to the end. We got like 95%, 99 if you will, and then messed it up. So let's go back and do that.
Yes! Ha ha ha! Yes!
We got the cute picture of Hyesung though, so I'm happy about that. I'm gonna go turn on another light before we do this. Okay. Talk to the culprit and give the correct answer and preserve more than half of your sanity. Oh. All right, let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
지금 얘기 내가
How did he modify Hyesung's fader pose? Auto. Yep. The contradicting clues. It wasn't any of these three. So maybe it's just these three. Please, no, not the Civic Doodles. I cannot handle that. It's all three of his report conversations. What the hell? Okay. Well, take this. Yu-hyuk, you told me about your past.
이병희 선생님.
What kind of person your father was.
형과
How difficult it had been for you and your mom.
방치된 채로
How neglected and impoverished you've been.
선생님의 도움이 전혀 없었다고?
No, it doesn't tell me the answers, Rosen, but no support from Mr. Lee?
그게 어떻게 이유가 된다는 거야?
How can that be a reason?
형은 나한테 이렇게 얘기했어.
This is what Yu-hyuk told me.
어머니의 죽음 뒤에야 선생님이
That Mr. Lee was finally taking care of Yu-hyuk after his mother died. But that means his mother died before his father. Wait, it's none of these? Yu-hyuk you told me yourself. Your mother took her own life. She couldn't handle the struggle with the disease, negligence, and difficulties. So she decided to take her own life out of depression. Wait! What? Wait, no. That is clearly a lie, right? She died of insulin overdose, but she also died in the car crash. Oh, maybe you need all three. No partial credit. Alright, no partial credit. You got it. Oh, also, I'm gonna turn off this AC.
내가 잘못 이해한 거 아니지?
Okay. You need to present the clue. I see. 9 minutes for what, Kevin? I did a couple of yours yesterday.
정이 형은 그걸로 혜성이가 죽은 뒤에 글이 올라가게 한 거야.
Hold on, guys. Kev is pressuring me. Hold on, guys. Kev is pressuring me. I'll do the witches. Leave them to me. Okay, so. Why is there 3 options? So, okay. we're using the memo. So what would the third one be? I guess this? Can we try?
뒷조사 메모.
The background check memo.
이병희 선생님이 돌아가신
Contain the information about the accident when Young-hee Lee was killed. It said that another passenger had died too. Oh, so Seiyu we found hung in the dressing room after he got into a dispute with Inha and spilled his bag. And we found a tablet and a bunch of photos and records about all the contestants in his bag. But it only looked like a suicide because Yu Hyuk killed him. Yu Hyuk killed Hyesung and Seiyu. And it was his wife. Her mother was also killed in the accident. The fuck?
형이 직접 말해줬었지.
Do you have to do them in order? You must have to do them in order. That's not the case in any other one of these discussion segments. Okay. Let's try doing them in order, I guess.
지금 얘기.
정의.
Okay. So first... Okay, reality of death.
형이 어머니께서
Your mother took her own life.
쇠약해진
Couldn't handle it.
우울증에 빠져.
Huh?
이병이 거기엔 동승자는 형의 어머니. 형은 어머니께
What? There's a clear contradiction there. Okay. I might not have all the answers. Let's see what the...
Do you understand?
Oh, the order does matter. Wait a minute. Apparently there's a unique epilogue that you can get? Do we want to see the unique epilogue?
지금 얘기.
저
Apparently if you do this, there's a unique Gyu-hyuk ending. Let's just get it since we're already here. Do we have any objections? Sorry, I glanced at the spoiler-free guide. Because this is crazy. The background check memo contained information about the accident when Byung-hee Lee was killed. It said that another passenger died too, and it was his wife. Your mother was also killed in the accident. Yu-hyuk told me about your past. What kind of person your father was. How difficult it had been for you and your mom. How neglected and impoverished you've been.
선생님의 도움이
No support from Mr. Lee?
그게 어떻게 이유가
But how
되는
can
거야?
that be a reason?
형은 나한테
This
이렇게
is what
얘기했어.
Yu-hyuk told me.
어머니의 죽음 뒤에야 선생님이 돌아봐 주는 것 같다.
That Mr. Lee was finally taking care of Yu-hyuk after his mom died.
어머니께서는
That means his mother died before his father.
뒷조사 자료.
There's an inconsistency between the background check information and Yu-hyuk's account.
자료는
The document revealed that both of your parents were killed in an accident. You and your mother died before your father.
자료와 형 모두가 사실을
Oh,
말하는
I misread that. If both the document and your account are true. Yoon lowered his head upon finishing the sentence.
나는
can only
하나밖에
think of
생각할
one
수
thing.
없었어. 선생님의 사고에서 돌아가신
Your mother, who was killed along with your father in the accident, and your mother, who took her own life after having been neglected for a long time. They must be two different people. Oh. So Gyu-hyuk didn't make up the story about his mom dying of diabetes. They were two separate women. The two people. Gyu-hyuk fell silent. His blurred eyes came back after wandering about the ruin for a moment.
거기까지고.
That's how far you've gotten.
뭐?
What? How far I got?
거기까지냐고? 형,
Gyu-hyuk, is that all you can say?
규혁아, 정말 그게
Gyu-hyuk,
이유였던 거야?
what was the real reason?
서혜성이
Did his son threaten you with that?
세일이는
What about Seil?
자료만 있지.
Just because he had the documents doesn't mean he knew your secrets. Gyu-hyuk raised his head again. He looked exhausted.
측일 뿐이야.
That's my guess.
아니라고 해도
You can say I'm wrong, just say something. Just say I'm wrong. Just say I'm delusional. You can even say it was a ghost.
그러니까 말해.
So tell me,
뭔지.
is that what you wanted to hear? Yoon's vision got hazy. Gyu-hyuk's silhouette on the other side slowly nodded its head. That's enough.
맞아.
Yes, it was all me. The scattered pieces of the puzzle were put together to reveal the truth. The truth turned into a sharp blade and hacked at his heart.
뒤를 캐인 건 너만
But
그런
you
거
aren't the
아니잖아.
only one who has a skeleton in the closet.
왜 그런 짓까지 한 거야?
Why did you go that far? Yu-hyuk slowly raised his hands and looked at them for a moment.
모두
Enough. That is all you need to know. Yu-hyuk turned his gaze to the stage.
대리.
Buried stars.
여기 선 걸 후회했던
I
적
often regretted stepping into this show,
그런데도
but I
떠나지
couldn't leave.
역시
They
선생님이
praised that I was the son of the greatest musician. I inherited his talent, and he would be very proud of me. I got addicted to those compliments.
마치
Felt like my father was directly speaking to me, when in reality I wasn't even able to talk with him in a normal manner. Hyuk paused as if catching his breath.
내가 그분을
I don't know if I
증오했는지
loved him or hated him.
그래서 떠돌았어.
That's why I wandered around this place.
그래도
But I wanted to
어머니만은
protect my mom at
지키고
any
내가
cost.
세상에 나왔기 때문에
Lived in anguish simply because I was born into this world. Probably meant she. Hyuk took a step back from the group. He slowly clenched his teeth, and the light came into his hazy eyes.
아무것도 모르는 사람들.
For her to become a topic of internet gossip for people who knew nothing about her, I could never let that happen.
그것만으로는 설명이 안 돼.
Doesn't explain everything.
거기까지만 알면
What do you
된다는 게
mean by
무슨 말이야?
that is all you need to know?
아직 숨기는 게 있잖아, 형.
You're still holding something, Gyu-hyuk. Be honest with us, please. As Do-yoon took a step forward, Gyu-hyuk took a step back as if keeping pace.
그건 안 돼.
No,
어디
sorry.
가는 거야?
Where are you going?
위험해.
It's dangerous over there.
날 도와줘.
Help me.
이쯤에서 말도 안 되는 난 특히 널
I betrayed everyone, especially you.
본인이 네가 구해준
You saved me when I killed the
용서받지
others.
못할 죄를 지어놓고 그러니까
So this is gonna be the same as the one we just saw.
너라면 괜찮아. 날 내버려둬. 내가 믿을게. 넌
I know, poor Aquatique. This is not the true ending. This is a half ending.
물러서세요.
Now we'll get the real ending. It literally says order matters right here. Wait. This might not be doable. Because I don't have enough spots for this.
지금 얘기 내가 잘못 이해한 거
Oh, okay, you're right.
정해진
Nah, we didn't miss something.
형은 그걸로 그럼 우리
So we want to do the memo, the flip side, and the reality of death. I knew reality of death was in there somewhere, but let's see. Alright, this is it. Going for gold here, guys. The background check memo
이병희 선생님이 돌아가신
contained information about the accident when Byung Healy was killed.
거기엔 동승자도 함께
It said that another passenger had died too,
동승자는
and it was his wife.
형의 어머니.
Your mother was also killed in the accident.
형이
Yu-hyuk,
옛날 얘기
told me about your past.
이병희 선생님
Kind of person your father was. How difficult it had been for you and your mom. How neglected and impoverished you had been.
선생님의 도움이
No support from Mr.
없었다.
Lee?
그게 어떻게 이유가
But how
되는
can
거야?
that be a reason?
형이
Yu-hyuk,
직접
told me
말해줘,
yourself,
어머니께서.
your mother took her own life.
스토리형으로 쇠약해진
She
사람.
couldn't handle the struggle with the disease, negligence, and difficulties,
우울증에 빠져
so she decided to take her own life out of depression.
뒷조사 자료.
There's an
그리고 형의
inconsistency
이야기가 서로
between the
맞지 않아.
background check information and Gi-hyuk's account.
자료는
The document revealed
함께
both of your
사망했다.
parents were killed in the accident, but you said your mother
자살했다고 말했어.
killed herself.
자료와 형.
If both the document and your account are true,
나는 하나밖엔 생각할 수
you could only think of one thing.
선생님의
Your mother who was
사고에서
killed
돌아가신
along with your father in the accident,
방치당하다
and your
스스로
mother who
목숨을
took
끊으신
her
어머니.
own life after having been neglected for a long time.
두 분.
They must be two different people. At that very moment, something flashed through Do-yoon's mind. The inconsistency between the background check document and Yu-hyuk's own account. Could Se-il have been aware of that?
아니야.
No. Se-il ran away because he was afraid of the real attacker. But Se-il opened the dressing room door for Yu-hyuk. Why would he open the door for Yu-hyuk? He knew about Yu-hyuk's secret.
뭐가 아니라는 거야?
What do you mean, no?
세일이의 일은
Concerning what happened to Se-il, there's something else other than the background check.
그럼 뭐 때문에?
Then why?
도윤아,
Do-yoon, you really... Do-yoon was putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. Once he completed the puzzle, the truth would be revealed. So this is the one where the order matters, I see. Holy shit, that's a lot. So it's... Oh boy, are you guys ready? Young-hee didn't pay attention to Gyu-hyuk and his mother when Gyu-hyuk was young. What? No, it is not. His mother had to raise Gyu-hyuk all by herself. Gyu-hyuk grew up hating his father and loving his mother dearly. Gyu-hyuk applied for and received a scholarship in 2014 during his university years. His mother's health had worsened and it became difficult for him to pay his tuition. A professor who was fond of Gyu-hyuk helped him get the scholarship. This was before his relationship with his father, Byung-hee, was known to the public. His mother ended her own life. Worsening health and financial difficulties led her to depression, which then led to her death. Gyu-hyuk was grief-stricken for quite some time. Byung-hee seemed to have accepted Gyu-hyuk as his son around this period. Did Byung-hee finally feel guilty for ignoring his own child for so long? Then in 2016, Byung-hee died in a car accident. Byung-hee and his new wife, Gyu-hyuk's stepmother, lost their lives. Is it gonna be that, like, he's responsible for the death of his father? And Se-il and Hye-sung knew. Okay, that is the current basket that we're putting our eggs in. He killed his father and stepmother. The accident was apparently due to a mistake that Byung-hee made while driving. When Gyu-hyuk received the scholarship in 2014, Gyu-hyuk's biological mother was still alive. Young Hee accepted Yu-hyuk and got into a car accident in 2016. That meant that Yu-hyuk's biological mother passed away sometime between 2014 and 2016. About 2 to 4 years ago from 2018, which is now. Okay, so now we're at 4 years ago again, which is when Saeil and Songyun were working for that WBSN company.
이 일은
This matter began a long time ago.
그 시작은
It started with the old program. Songyun and Saeil's business cards that had fallen out of Saeil's messenger bag. The old WBSN logo from years ago. The name of the tabloid TV program, which was printed on the cards. That program made Songyun famous with persistent coverage of provocative issues and shocking news in the past. Since then, Saeil has been working for Songyun. Something that happened 3 years ago, which had been mentioned along with the fact that he had been treated contemptuously for over 4 years. A certain event, which could also hurt Songyun had he opened his mouth.
친어머니가 스스로 목숨을 끊으신 일.
His biological mother who took her own life.
거기 신 PD님하고 세일이가 관련되어 있었던
Songyun and Saeil were involved in her suicide? How?
그리고 어쩌면
Then you might have killed Songyun too.
형이
Doyoon couldn't say a thing. Yu-hyuk quietly looked at Doyoon. He wasn't glaring, but quietly looking at him.
처음엔
I didn't know anything about Saeil at first.
명함을 보고 알았지.
Only after seeing the business cards, I knew that they were working together even back then.
규혁아,
Yu-hyuk,
정말
you killed Songyun too? Are you serious?
3년.
It was 3 years ago.
이병희 선생님은
My father, Byung-hee, was Songyun's person of interest.
신비주의
A
싱어송라이터.
mysterious singer-songwriter. She thought his story would sell without question. I didn't know back then
제 주변에서
about what was going on around me. Yu-hyuk.
어머니께서는
My mom was very fragile
있었어.
after a long struggle with her disease.
평생 내 걱정만 하다가
She had been worrying about me her whole life. She endured all that pain just because I was born into this world. Yu-hyuk covered his face with his hands.
난 감당할
I had
용기가
the courage
있었어.
to endure it. She told me I could.
그께서
But she gave up earlier than I had expected.
그러면서 선생님한테
She
유언을
left a
남기시고
message to my father before she died.
당신의 아들인 날
Asked him to
업적에
take me
올리고
into his home and look after me as his legitimate son. Yu-hyuk dropped his hands and stared into the air.
같은 상황이
But
기다렸어.
nothing really changed.
방치와 학대,
Negligence,
겨우
abuse, a
버티는
stepmother who barely managed to sustain her own
자기
life,
성취만이
and my
최우선인
father who only
선생님.
cared about his musical achievement.
그래도
Thanks to him,
그랬기
my
때문에
stepmother and I could get
사모님하고
along
의지하면서
with
버틸 수 있었어.
my stepmother and I could get along with and rely on each other
그 잘난
until the
선생님께서 낸
accident when my
사고가
father's carelessness took them
그것까지 아사가
both
버렸지.
away from my life for good.
베스타에
So you joined Beastars with the intention
작정하고
to
왔다는
take your
거야?
revenge? Yu-hyuk slowly shook his head.
선생님 댁으로
Before
들어갈
moving
때
into my father's house, I sorted my mother's belongings. Among them, I found an unfamiliar business
무슨
card.
의미인지는
I didn't know
몰랐어.
what it meant at the time.
유품이니까
I just kept it because
보관하고 있을
it was a
뿐이었지.
keepsake from my mom.
그러다 베스타
But
새
then I saw an
시즌
episode
베스타
about the
PD
star producer
신승연의
chosen for the
특집을
new
봤어.
season of Beastars. Her name was Songyun,
유품에 그 명함에 있는 사람이었지.
but it was the name from that, and it was the name from that business card.
신승연을 지금의 자리에
On the
올렸다는
business card,
프로그램이
there was also the name of
명함에
the TV
새겨져 있었어.
program which made her so famous. But I
그때까지도
still didn't
몰랐어.
know the reason. Stupid me.
다 놓아버리기 전에 여기
Before I
왔어.
mentally broke down, I
훌린
came
사람이지.
here like it was my destiny.
유품에서 나온
I
명함
chased the name that was on the
거기서
business card.
흔적을
I guess I just retraced what had happened.
그럼
So when did you find out the
진실을
truth?
알게-
바로
It was only a few
몇
hours
시간
ago,
여기가 무너진
right after the stage collapsed. Mayhem. He recalled a lighting fixture falling onto him. Somebody saved him from that perilous moment.
도윤아!
Yoon. This guy who was branded as a betrayer by everyone. Did he die after saving him?
도윤아!
Do-yoon, Do-yoon! Must be alive, he must. Yu-hyuk crawled toward Do-yoon.
야, 이규야!
Shit, that's gonna be Sung-yeon.
피디님?
Sung-yeon!
빨리 나 좀 꺼내. 빨리!
This is not gonna be pretty. Get out! Come on! Get me out! Come on! Her legs were stuck under a steel frame. Didn't budge at all.
뭐해? 당장
Come on! Help me out! He unwittingly stared at the stage. There was a pile of debris. What if he had to go to Do-yoon right now to save him? Sung-yeon's legs were stuck under the steel frame, and Do-yoon was buried under some debris. What if Do-yoon dies because Yu-hyuk didn't help him? It was always like this. He was lost again. He was always indecisive. Couldn't even make a choice. No.
도윤이
Do-yoon got buried while trying to save me. I need to go and save Do-yoon. I'll be right back.
어디가?
Where on earth are you going?
모를 줄 알아?
You think I don't know anything? You're just going to leave me here?
피디님!
No, Sung-yeon. I'll bring the others too.
이 새끼! 네 엄마
You
복수하는
bastard!
거지?
You are getting revenge on me for what happened to your mom! Yu-hyuk came to a sudden stop. He slowly turned around. His focus was back to her.
그 여자 자살해서 여기 온 거 내가 모를 줄
I know you're here because your mom killed herself!
뒤좀 캔다고 그럴 줄 내가 어떻게 알아?
Who would have thought she would kill herself just because I dug up her past a little? She was going to die from her disease anyway. Oof! Okay, kill her.
지금이 딱 찬스지. 어?
You think this is the right opportunity, huh? What do you think I am, a moron?
협박장이나 보내고 이 저열한
Did you have enough fun sending me the blackmail, huh? You stupid coward. Their eyes met.
1등이고 뭐고?
First place or not, I could tell the whole world about your past.
난
You can't ignore me. Come back right now. He slowly walked towards her. He couldn't help but walk toward her. That's right. You'll be fine as long as you do as I say.
사랑받고
You got popular, topped the list, and became your daddy's proud son. You owe me, right? Darkness filled his vision. His ears rang. Dust fell, and a thundering noise echoed around the stage. Sung-yeon began to shriek even harder.
어차피 다 죽었어.
Your parents are gone anyway. Now it's your world. So just get this shit off me. I'm in so much pain. Yu-hyuk stood before Sung-yeon. She struggled to grab Yu-hyuk's feet. Suicide. The business card from her belongings. The name of the program on the business card, and the name printed on it.
난
Didn't even know. Feeling something unusual, Sung-yeon looked up to see Yu-hyuk.
뭐야? 그 표정은?
What's with the face?
내가 널
Helped you
만들어줬잖아.
grow this much, don't you agree?
더
I
부숴볼
can
수
make it
있어.
up to you, you know. You know my influence.
나
Yu-hyuk's eyes were fixed on one thing. Something he could barely lift. It was concrete debris. Yu-hyuk hesitated a bit, then moved toward the debris. He walked awkwardly, as if pulled by a string. What?
아니야.
Get me out! That's how you're going to live!
Bye-bye.
When he was done, Gyu-hyuk began to run, staggering all the way to the stage. He sat near where Do-yoon was buried and began to dig frantically. I mean... Let's put ourselves in Gyu-hyuk's shoes for a second. If somebody literally caused your mother to commit suicide and you saw them crushed under a ladder... and then said that to you, Yeah? Honestly, Tom? I was about to say, I mean, killing Hyesung is inexcusable, but, Sungyeon actually asked for it. Well, fail. Not all of us are so lucky.
규혁이 형! 무사했어요? 뭘 하는 거예요? 도윤이가 이 밑에 있어.
Yoon is somewhere under all this.
You bro.
Ev?
제발 도윤아, 한도윤! 들려! 도윤아, 조금만 참아! 이 미친가 봐요.
Right.
괜찮아? 형,
Yuck, I'm glad you're okay.
너 아니었으면 난
Wasn't for you,
그게 시작이었어.
That was the beginning.
나만 비열한 놈이야? 나만 수써?
Oh, don't show me when you killed my waifu, please. Is it just me? Am I the only one playing tricks?
형도 이병이
You've been enjoying your father's glory too, haven't you?
솔직히 자식 맞지. 근데
You're not from his wife, but you are still his son. You know what this means? Hyesung actually had dirt on everybody. No, they weren't doing that, Tom. This was just a cover-up relationship because he's gay. Thank you. I always thought it was weird that Yu-hyuk just repeated everything that we said from our meeting with him. What I'm saying is, I'll keep it between you and me.
형, 알겠어?
Yu-hyuk, you get it.
기회를 달라는 거야.
I'm just asking you to grant me a chance at life.
나도
In return, I'm giving you a chance. Felt dizzy. Dizziness that slowly filled his head just wouldn't go away.
대답은 뭐야?
So what's your answer?
차 시간 모자라잖아.
No more time to waste. What is your answer?
형은 어차피 돈도
You're already
많잖아.
rich. You've got everything, man.
비밀이 제일
Your secret is
소중한
what's important, then keep it safe. Yes, nodded. I'll quit, as you suggested. Really? Thanks, you rock. That's the right decision.
이딴 놈이라서.
I'm sorry for acting like a loser, but I want to live too.
비밀은 지킨다.
Keep your secret forever, I swear. Yuhyuk had no interest in B-stars anymore. He hated himself for taking any joy out of his first place ranking. Fail! Stop. He's just perfect. I miss Hyesung so much. I want to do the route where he's alive. If Hyesung wants him to disappear, he'll do just that. But Hyesung really keep his mouth shut? Trying to gain popularity or seeking attention again? Wouldn't he eventually spill his secret? Hyuk shook his head to clear his mind. I'll have to tell the others it's all settled now. He already sinned and somehow covered it up. He did something he shouldn't have done. He would confess to everything, but his secret must stay hidden. See, he killed Songyun and suddenly, like, his head exploded. The sound of a recording? His son came to a sudden stop. Well, I recorded our conversation. Just in case. You really shouldn't have done that. Yuhyuk saw a mop shaft beside him. His son hit his head hard against it. Everything happened in an instant. Yuhyuk hurriedly checked the voice recording, which contained his secret. Yuhyuk shrugged. There are people with more painful stories. I could have just admitted and accept his offer. But I killed him. I killed 2 people already. Yuhyuk's face gradually contorted. Ever since, I thought about how to cover up my crime. Deleted the recording from the watch. And when I saw the time, the auto-write crossed my mind. I was going to set you up to believe the attacker is someone from out there. But after S. Sungyun was taken off the list, Sae-il was being cornered. The last moment when his stuff fell out of his bag. Business card from the program that had been broadcast around the time of my mother's suicide. The information on the accident where my father and stepmother lost their lives. Had been working under Sungyun ever since. So I decided that Sae-il would be my last target. To make you think that he took his own life after what he had already done was exposed. Yuhyuk sent everyone apart and took Hyesung's watch. When Yuhyuk told Sae-il that he was alone, he opened the door without much resistance. You know what? I think Inha is the murderer. She wasn't in the dressing room, and now she's framing me. I tried not to think of it that way, but... Sae-il stared at Yuhyuk with quivering eyes. Yuhyuk knew what his face looked like to the others. The audition taught him how to put on a fake smile, which made him look trustworthy. You didn't murder Hyesung, right? No, of course not! Now I need to make him confess. But I think you're the murderer. Excuse me? Why would I? I thought you would understand me! Sae-il got agitated and began to ramble on. Oh, it's coming. I can hear the sound. It's the voice that tries to talk to me every time I feel down. It's the voice I heard when I punished Sungyun and his son. Why don't you just confess your sins now? Reveal everything you did. Sae-il opened his mouth. His face turned ghastly pale. Tell me now. I have nothing to say to you. Go away. There it is. Key to freeing myself from truth and sin. I hurt your feelings? What has gotten into you? You talk like someone else. Yuhyuk slowly walked toward the mannequin, taking his time to untie a belt from the jacket. Stunned by Yuhyuk's remark, Sae-il took a step back.
왜요?
What's that for?
네 죄를
I'll
알려줘.
tell you what you did wrong.
오래전부터 신승의
You'd been
밑에서
digging up dirt on
남은
other people for Sungyeon for a long time.
스쿠프.
Scoop, you know someone who
그것 때문에
died because of
사람이
what you
죽었어.
done.
무슨 말이에요?
What are you talking about?
전 그냥
I just did what I was told to do.
아무것도
This
I
is
don't
just
know anything
perfect.
about anyone's death. Seo hastily turned around. Yuhyuk tied Seil's neck with a belt. He choked him to death. Revenge made. The voice sounded ecstatic. It was no longer someone else's voice. It was now his own voice. Scattered pieces of puzzle were put together to reveal the truth, and turned to a sharp blade and hacked at his heart.
그렇게
Just like that, you killed 3 people.
시신
Tried to move the body to remove the evidence.
혜성이 워치를
I
부쉈어.
broke his son's watch and I hid the concrete.
형, 세일이는 왜 나한테 부탁했어?
Did you ask me to carry Seil's body then? Get rid of another clue? Gyu-hyuk slowly raised his hands. After a brief silence, Gyu-hyuk put on a faint smile.
그러고 싶었어.
I wanted to.
끝까지 숨기고.
I wanted to hide everything till the end. Or maybe I wanted to get caught.
난 항상 그런
I've
식이었어.
always been like that. Gyu-hyuk turned his gaze on the stage. The falling steel frame crashed down with a bang.
베리드 스타즈.
Buried stars.
여기 선 걸 후회했던
I often
적 많아.
regretted stepping into the show,
그런데도
but I
떠나지
couldn't
마.
leave.
역시
They
선생님은
praised that I was the son of the greatest musician. I inherited his talent, and he would be very proud of me. I got addicted to those compliments. Yuhyuk paused as if catching his breath.
내가 그분을
I don't know if I
증오했는지
loved him or hated him.
떠돌았어.
That's why I wandered around this place.
그래도
But I wanted to protect my mom at any cost because of me. Yuhyuk took a step back from the group. He slowly clenched his teeth, and the light came into his hazy eyes.
아무것도 모르는
Become a
사람.
topic of internet gossip for people who know nothing about her.
절대로
I could never let that happen. So now this is becoming like the first ending we got.
어딜 가는 거야? 이쯤에서 끝이.
So he's gonna kill himself again.
난 특히 도윤이 네가 용서받지 못. 그러니까 그래도 너라면 괜찮아. 날 내버려둬. 내가 믿을게. 너
Oh, we lost so much sanity.
그런 말 물러설 것.
Dean hesitated but took another step forward.
괴로 비밀을 숨기고 처음부터 이게 맞았어.
I should have done this much sooner. This matter has dragged on far too long.
도망칠 생각이야?
Don't deceive yourself by running away.
이쪽으로
Get over here.
형 그만둬.
Yuck, stop it. I can't let you get away with it.
도윤아,
Please let me go. Do one more favor for me, just as you did before.
끝까지 그런 식으로
You try to run away.
배신은 대가를 치르게 해줘.
Let me pay for betraying you.
배신한 대가를 치르게.
Oh, we lost all of our sanity! No way! Let you pay for your sins, leave you to die, and tell you the truth to the world because I'm not a betrayer? It's falling down! Watch out! Don't you... We lost so much sanity. Did we actually... I think you have to have max sanity.
난 괜찮아.
I'm alright. Their watches began to flicker. The signal was back and fader comments were pouring in like crazy.
기억이랑
Where are you, Hyuk and Do-yoon?
두 사람도 안 보여.
I don't see either of them. Oh my god, does Do-yoon die in this one too?
설마
Do you think they got...
안에 묻혀버린 건
buried? The two ran towards the collapsed site.
했어.
There they are! Oh shit, they're alive! You guys, now is not the time. Ugh.
Oh my. Were you looking for me? Have a kiss.
까라고 그래.
You don't know shit about me. No, you.
형,
You're all wrong about me,
틀렸어.
Hyuk.
형이 믿던 거.
You don't know what I did.
나는
I... Ooh! I was nervous.
자, 대답은?
So, what's your answer?
저한테 뭘 기대하세요?
You expect me to do?
좋게 봐주시는
Thank you for holding me in high regard, but I can't do that. You want to go home happily with your buddies. What a loser. I heard you gave up your chance to make a debut to protect the band members. And what did you get out of that? You just want to sit there, wither and die, with just the legacy as the founder of a failed band. Do-yoon, do you think you can go back to where you were after you failed here? Can you face reality?
감당.
Reality?
그래.
Yes, you can. Can't you see that Masquerade was finished a long time ago? You can't go back, because there is no place to go. As long as we keep our mouths shut, no one will know what went on between us. By the end of the show, no one will call you a betrayer anymore. I will help you get rid of that title. It is just part of the show after all. I'm done here. You can go. You are the only member of the band to stand out during the audition. There is no more place to return. You want people to applaud you. You want more love from them. You want more recognition from them. You want to be rich. You wonder what glory... I'm done here. You can go now.
제가
It was stupid. I will go on my own without them.
좋아.
Good. Now we're talking. If something is not working, just throw it away. This is a great scene to behold. The birth of the betrayer.
알겠어? 난
Get it now? I'm the real betrayer. I was just keeping my mouth shut. I'm not worthy enough to have your trust. Why? Why did you do that?
형을 구한
Saving you is my only solace.
난 배신자로
I'm going to live as a betrayer from now on. I can't deceive anymore.
형도 알잖아.
You still don't see? You can deceive everyone but yourself. You murdered people, and are now burying yourself to run away from all this. The Yoon buried his head as if he was collapsing. His forehead bumped against Gyu Hyuk's chest over and over.
살아서 갚아. 죄를
Live and pay for your sin. Endure the weight. Don't run away.
살인자로 사는 거야.
Pay your debt as a murderer. Please, Gyu Hyuk. The light pouring from the ceiling was so bright that Gyu Hyuk had to close his eyes. People were running toward Gyu Hyuk along with the rescue team. Sounds of sirens and loudspeakers began to diminish. Hyuk could clearly feel the warmth of his body, heavy breathing, and the pressure on his chest. The weight, warmth, and breath of a person. A voice was heard. Always first among top 5, Gyu Hyuk, the one who was closest to the throne, was forced to live his quasi-glorious life under the expectations of others, but in the end he couldn't sustain the weight of his own life. One month later. Let's see how this is different. Yeah, we already saw the Ju-young ending.
전 붕대 감고 난리가 났네. 미
렌즈 뺐네.
카메라 솔직히
Yeah, we didn't max her report.
또 바뀌어야
I was really bad at talking to her, Tom.
사실
I want
구조되기
this
전
to end.
죽은 사람
Yeah, the hand.
거긴 내 집이지.
I gotta hurry, we're late for Among
근데
Us.
뭔가 찾아.
나 공부를 무대에 대 도망친
Tomorrow, though, we get to start the Hyesung route, which
We're way behind schedule.
I'm so excited.
덕담하고 막 네가 바라는 대로 잘.
그래 씨부릴 줄 알았다.
We're way behind schedule.
Hi, Lisa. We're 11 minutes behind schedule. I'm hurrying though, guys. We got the final route.
울적하다고.
내가 다른 뭘?
그래서 얘기한 퇴원 기다릴게.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be way different too.
저기
그래?
알 때도 저기 서는
Nani? I wonder if you can save Seil.
학폭가해자의 노래.
I know, that picture of Hyesung is amazing. I'm probably gonna change it to my phone background. Doyoon met Yu Hyuk, who was accompanied by a police officer on the day of his transfer to the police station. Their eyes met and Yu Hyuk came to a halt. Doyoon. Doyoon hesitated to answer, and Yu Hyuk put on a weak smile.
힘내.
Cheer up.
형.
Hyuk. Doyoon spoke carefully.
미안.
Sorry.
피디님.
I murdered Sungyun, Hyesung, and Seo, and then tried to put my burden on you at the end.
네 말이 맞아.
It's like you said, I ran away.
도망쳐서
I ran all the way here.
찾을게.
I don't know how I can pay for my sins
어떻게
and
죄값을 치를지.
what I can do
그
for
사람들하고
the victims, their families, and my fans. Hyuk slurred the end of his sentence.
나도 찾아볼 거야.
Think about what I should do,
이젠 뭘
or what I can do. Hyuk slowly nodded.
넌잘 해낼 거야.
No, I don't worry about you. You'll do great for sure. The officer rushed him to move. Doyoon spoke to Yu Hyuk, who was
Schedule.
turning around. I know, I'm hurrying, Storm. To leave.
무대가 무너질 때
Saved you when the stage
날
collapsed.
그게
That's why you ran into Sungyun first.
시작한 건 나였을지도 몰라.
Maybe everything began with me, and in the end,
시작한 건
it
나야.
all began with me, not you.
마지막에도 마찬가지.
Even in the end,
넌
you lifted the veil
밝혀냈고
and treated me with respect
내가
till the
널
end.
배신했던 거야.
I'm the one who betrayed you till the end. He made an irreparable mistake after falling into the swamp of self-loathing and self-pity. He tried to run away towards his death without revealing the truth. He was dragged out after being forced to live, and he must face the things he did. The dead cannot come back. He has to live with this forever. Yu Hyuk left the corridor, dragging his long shadow with him. Yu Hyuk confessed to all the charges against him after he was arrested. His family history spread fast to the public after Yu Hyuk had revealed it himself. As popular as he was, the aftermath was unbelievable. Each of his fans had different thoughts, and they went through fierce internal debates. The arrows of hatred and anger were flying everywhere. WBS released the newly revised contract to the media, stating that it would improve the mental care system for contestants, starting with the new season of Buried Stars. They also declared that investigating and broadcasting the private lives of the contestants without consent would strictly be prohibited. Yeah, I think so, Rosen. It was a hollow cry that soon was buried in the flood of endless gossip. Purgatory for Betrayer. So which one is that? Apparently we still didn't get the best ending. Sungyun Shin, the chief producer of Buried Stars Season 4. Oh right, they already did. We already read this.
한도윤?
Doyoon Han? Oh shit, it's Plughole. Oh, he looks really weird. As someone called out his name, he turned around to see who it was.
맞네.
You're Doyoon.
화면빨
You
좀
look
닿는구나.
much handsomer on TV. The stranger took several big strides toward Doyoon. It was a stranger.
한잠에 얌전하게
Thought you were
자빠져
patient.
있어야지.
Shouldn't you be resting in bed?
빨빨거리고 댕기면서
I had to walk all
쫓겨났느냐?
over looking for you. There was only one thing he could say.
누구?
Who are you? He looked confused at first, but shortly came to an understanding.
왜?
Come on,
이
we've
얘기가
talked a lot.
수상이라고 해?
It's me, Yu Cheng Ha. Ha? Su Cheng. Su Cheng. He tried to remember the name, what that name meant to him. Ah!
Who?
It was Plughole. It's the nosy guy who helped him throughout.
방송 안 타는 거 보고 조용히
Figured
적겠다
things should have
싶었어.
been settled by now since you
나도
weren't on TV
경찰서
anymore.
갔다 왔다니까.
I also had to go through police checks and stuff.
여기는 어떻게 알았냐고?
How'd I know? Hey, I have my ways.
근데 여기 더럽게 멀잖아.
This hospital's crazy far though.
주차장도 많잖아.
I couldn't even find parking space.
병원이
What is this,
에버랜드도-
Disneyland? His online writing style, verbal expressions, and facial expressions were all in perfect harmony. He came to visit Do-yoon out of nowhere and kept grumbling to
이제
himself.
우리 얼굴 볼 때 됐잖아.
It's about time we see each other, right?
동생 부탁도 있거든.
My little sister has a
그것부터
request
좀
too.
처리하자.
Let's get this over with first. Fumbled for a bit and took out a piece of colored paper.
내 동생이지만
Quite worried about my
진짜
sister.
오디션
He
배신자에서
just can't let
국민
go of
배신자에
you
오른
who
널 아직도
earned the
못
national
놓치냐?
title of betrayer throughout
내가 너무
the audition.
의기맨이라 삐뚤어진 이성관을 갖게 된 것
I
같아.
always emphasize the importance of loyalty and faith, so I guess maybe she's resisting against me in her own
원래
way.
자기 주변에
You know,
없는
people
걸
tend to
찾잖아.
look for things they
그렇지
don't
않냐?
have, right? Do-yoon involuntarily grabbed the paper.
이 색주는
What is this for? In confusion, Do-yoon slurred the end of his sentence.
사인
Your
좀.
autograph, please. He handed Do-yoon a pen.
아, 사인 좀 꼭 받아달래.
My sister Soo-young wants it.
이름만 적고 잊어라. 외울
Just write her
생각만.
name and don't
오케이?
try to memorize it. He had no intention of memorizing it. He signed the colored paper. For some reason, he couldn't refuse the request. He felt stupid signing the paper. Chang quickly accepted the colored paper when Do-yoon handed it. He put on a crooked smile.
와,
Wow, finally.
저기 수창.
Been wanting to talk to you, Mr.
예,
Ha.
수창 씨?
Mr. Ha? Why don't you
씨는
call me sir
과일은
instead?
형이라고 불러.
Just kidding. Call me
뭐
Soo Chang. He was treating Do-yoon like a kid. He certainly looked older than Do-yoon.
저
Well then,
그럼-
thing is, Do-yoon was going to visit him once he got out of the hospital. He wanted to talk about the private things that the world shouldn't know about. He was the only person who was not one of the survivors, but still deeply involved with Do-yoon's survival. But this sudden encounter made him dumbfounded. What should he say first? While Do-yoon was thinking, Soo Chang took out a piece of paper.
한도윤.
Hey Do-yoon, check this out.
네?
Yeah, what about it?
그게 난 이게
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
생각해. 카사블랑카.
You know Casablanca,
몰라?
right? The movie?
영화
It was the
마지막
last
대사.
line.
아,
You don't...
진짜?
Seriously? It was a contract! Wah! Yeah, that's apparently the best Yu-hyuk ending. There is more to see. There are more endings within this route, and there's also a completely separate route where we save Hyesung. So I think tomorrow we will start on the Hyesung route. Yeah, the art direction in this game is incredible. I kind of feel bad for Seil after everything, to be honest. Like, we shat on him the whole game. And then... it was our trusted pal. We can all agree Sungin is garbage, yeah. With a really godlike aesthetic, though. Wow. Well, at least we saved Yu Hyuk from dying, and then he gets to be in jail forever.
It's so much fun!
So, you got that same ending then, right, Tom? You just had the Ju Young, Max Rapport stuff going on? I can't wait to save Kisung. I really can't. Betrayer and Troll. Nope, this is the best ending. This is the best ending. So that was good. You're quite tenacious, aren't you? How on earth did you find me? Come on, all you have to say is okay. Call me on this number when you change your mind, alright? No thanks, adios. Hold right there, wait. Wait for what? I'm a busy man. Come on, just give it a second thought. Not a phony. I'm a renowned and highly decorated journalist. What's your name again? I already told you. I'll tell you again. Please pay attention this time, will ya? My name is Seo.
누군데?
Who are you talking with? This is some old guy bugging people for no reason.
오빠네.
It's exactly who you are. Please don't create a stir with my peaceful mind.
팩트 앞에서 감정에
And what an emotional response. I wasn't being emotional at all.
뭐 일일이 대꾸해.
So, when are you gonna hang up the phone? Just do it. You're a grown-up. Try to be a bit more decisive. It's a wild world out there. Oh, shut up. Why is she in a wheelchair? Remember, I did everything you asked me to do when you begged me.
뭐 미세하게 다시 보긴
I
했지.
admit it was a good performance from you.
잘했어.
Good job. That's what I'm talking about, sis. Positive feedback. Yeah, Seo is Hyesung's family. I found the account address, typed the messages as you said, wrote posts on Fader, and...
잠깐.
Wait, you didn't type exactly as I dictated. Hey, that was as close as I could get with the original. Why didn't you do it yourself if you were going to complain?
다쳤잖아.
I was injured. How was I supposed to do that? I also sent my own photo, got his autograph, and so on. You should bow to me, girl. I'm like an angel, right? The archangel.
천국으로 돌아가고 싶지. 응?
Do you want me to kick you up into the heaven? No thanks.
나같이 청순하면 초반
An
설득력이
innocent
약하거든.
girl like me isn't that effective at persuading others initially.
오빠의 범죄자상을
I had
이용할
no
수가
choice but to
없었다고.
use your grim face.
청순한
I'm disadvantaged to live with this pure-hearted look.
얼마나 손해보고
I'm losing out on so many things.
손해보험
I can get you an insurance policy for that if you want.
에휴, 어쨌든 아쉽다.
Not needed. Anyhow, I wanted to get his autograph myself. I told you to come with me. I could have taken you there.
아, 내가 좀
You know, I'm a bit shy,
다친 거 보면 놀라실지도
and I didn't want him to
모르고.
worry about my injury.
갔다가 다친
If
거
my prince
알고
finds out that I got hurt while
기분께서
watching the show in that
마음이
place,
아프실 수도
he might feel
있고.
sorry. Prince? Prince?
그래.
Yes, my prince. My lovely prince, Do Yoon Han. God, please forgive this crazy girl. Should have posted a load of bad comments about him. Just said,
그거 참
what you just said has caught my
귀했어.
attention. Oh, Soo-young, that's not what I meant to say.
그게 아니면 뭐?
Then what did you mean?
살면서
Have you
기스를
ever been
맞아본 적 있어?
whacked by a cast?
없지.
I'll let you experience what it feels like. Wait, I was just thinking about a possibility. I mean, you're my crazy sis. I could just say whatever I want comfortably without minding you, right? No, just to grumble about things, right? Right? No? Ah. So she got injured during the collapse. And she was a Do Yoon fan. Interesting.
I'd say sorry, but I'm not.
Yeah, Meh. The ending was good. That last part, though, I don't really care about Plughole that much. I'm just kind of like, well, they had to explain him, so I'm glad they did. Yeah, maybe we get the restraining order from Plughole next time. Anyways, guys, I'm way behind schedule with Among Us, so let's quickly make that change, because I'm sure a bunch of people want to kill me. However, we got to the, like, best ending. We got to the best ending, so I don't really regret anything. It just ended up taking longer than I thought it was going to take me. Wait, Nani? Oh yeah, we got a sponsorship fail with Javi Coffee. That's why there's all this shit here.
Delightful.
Okay, guys, let me get this all set up so that this. Well, look at the Sandra one. She's modifying her iced coffee. Pretty good, right? Have to admit. Okay. Let's change our category. Buried Stars was amazing tonight, though. Holy crap. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to play a bunch of B-Root tomorrow. Oh, hey, Lisa. Sorry that we're late.
No worries, it's fine for me.
Yeah, we ended up getting on like the true ending of that visual novel that we were playing, so I couldn't just like stop in the middle of it. We just had to like finish it.
Didn't you enjoy it?
Alright, catch you later, Fail. Yeah, oh, it was great. The ending was great. We're gonna be doing more stuff with it tomorrow, like to get other routes, but yeah, it was highly enjoyable. If you haven't played that game, by the way, Lisa, you really should.
I